Yeah, we're going into the final couple hours of a pretty interesting day here. We start off very, very negative right across the board for the overall market. We get a bit of a bounce back to the upside. We've ground into a bit of a halt at this point, though, as far as the market's not halted, but it's not exactly doing a heck of a lot at this point. Still down about 0.5% currently here for both the S&P and the NASDAQ. 0.42 for the Dow, TSX here in Toronto, 0.3 in negative territory as well. Bitcoin, 3%. That's just today. Same story for Ethereum. Remember, gains are actually, if you go out to a 24-hour period, a heck of a lot bigger than that. That is the S&P 500 currently now 0.39 in negative territory. We've been bouncing back and forth here as far as what is leading today, from the healthcare group to tech stocks. Tech right now in charge as far as overall declines are concerned. Semiconductors and software names specifically weighing on the overall market, back in negative territory. These two are earnings names, kind of offsetting each other down here in the pharmaceutical sector. But the rest of this group, it's worth noting, pretty negative on the day as well. There are a few names here in positive territory in the healthcare equipment sector. Cisco earnings name, we talked about a little bit in the pre-market there. A few other hardware equipment makers in positive territory as well. But you get the picture. I mean, if you step back and kind of look at this board, very, very mixed kind of a day. There is a little bit of negative weighting, obviously, sending the market into negative territory. CCL here, Expedia, all the travel names downside once again after a bounce yesterday. NCLH as well, 1.2%. Caesars there also 2.5% earnings. Etsy, there was that Citron note, big move to the downside off of that, saying that they're one of the biggest counterfeit sites on the internet. So 6% to the downside. But I thought Citron was only going to post about positive stuff now, right? NWL and Hasbro here, positive, notable names in that group. Energy is positive. Material stocks are positive as well. And the rest kind of a mixed bag so far today. Right now, 0.36, though, in negative territory for the S&P 500. Welcome back. Hope your afternoon is going very, very well. Thanks once again to Michael Moss swinging by throughout the midday show there. He's going to be in the house again tomorrow. We'll try and get him on maybe in the morning or right now during the afternoon period, answer some questions about trade ideas as well. For now, we'll get into a bit of a review session as far as what we were discussing in the pre-market this morning. Ton of opportunities once again today, whether you were looking at Roku, whether you were looking at Tesla. I want to talk about Tesla coming up here as well, because there's this whole, is it a recall or isn't it a recall as far as the software is concerned? According to Elon, it's not a recall. So we'll talk about Tesla, the stock not doing a heck of a lot this afternoon. Anyways, Neil is good to go this afternoon to kick us off with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Yes, your trade of the day is always brought to you by Day Trade the World. What do you do when you have a bias to the short on Coinbase and it goes up? Well, you have to have a plan of action first, because otherwise you're going to get chopped up and absolutely destroyed when that trend goes against you. So I always want to start things off going to the daily. Now, you have a huge range in the last few sessions, and you go to the daily chart, it's all over the place. So you have some interesting levels up here, and you got like a 76, and you kind of look at that lower high that it just put in at 67. That comes into play really quickly. And then I've got this right here, 62, like the bottom end of the channel, 62, 67, 76, three things that I was working with. So when the market was already flushing in the morning and that 70 short, I was like, okay, well, beneath 70, it's a round number, it'll be good. That's not in play. So all I can look at is that 67. Now at the open, you're already moving to the downside off that level. So once we head down here, I find the first consolidation, short underneath, and everything was going rosy. Like, you get short up here, 65.50, and it's just gifting you $1. We do it 1, 2, 3 times, and we're scalping it out. Now the last time, you'll see, instead of getting the absolute bottom, a little bit more aggressive, taking more shares out, because the third time's not always a charm. At this point, I stop out with a tight stop here, recognizing, okay, it's kind of trending to the upside, but we're still beneath that 67 level, so let's keep going for it. Do a reload at 67, get yourself a better price. At this point, I've saved myself 50 cents worth of grief, and we're kind of feeling a bit of an upward trend. So I scalp out back at that 66 level, and this is where you have to be able to accept that the trend is going in the other direction. I end up stopping out at 67, and then say it starts to look like a bit of a long. Now, I probably got in early here, and you see me get in and out flat very quickly. But I did say live, this is now looking like a long. You've got higher lows, You're breaking that 67 level. There's nothing significant until you get to 70 or going back over to our daily 76. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's room to the upside, higher lows, and I've now been stopped out twice short, even if I am up on those shorts. So I say I'm just going long in the next break, and I'm trying to join on the channel. I do scalp some out here, and this is where my bias gets the best of me, because I even said it live. I'm like, I'm long, but I'm going short again at 70 even. So if I'm going longs off 67, you can get the buck, you can get the $2, but I'm not going to get 3 because I'm thinking about that short at 70. The good news is I sat out this move from 67 to 70 by going long. But now it comes, how do you not lose a bunch when you're shorting off the 70 level? A, when it breaks out, take my stop, the wick high comes in, I decide to double up inside of the range, because if it does a slight pullback, I'll be able to scalp some out there, take out 2/3, and then reload at the high. That minimizes the loss in an upward trend. Obviously, long would have been better. But it also allows you to get paid out when it does a small pullback in your target area. So it gave me the pullback I wanted, not nearly big enough, but I was able to scalp some out, get a better price, so that you have a very tight stop up there. I would rather make the top wick when I'm going against the grain than just sit there fighting the market over and over and lose your entire day. Now, obviously, another reversal long would have been good by this point. I did take a long in Silvergate at that point, which was okay, but I did get in and out very quickly on the long, not believing in it. Bought a dip in front of that high. That kind of worked, and then it got stopped out. Then I walked away from that stock to go to some other names because I did not necessarily believe in the longs up there. The real thing about this is when you've got established levels to work with and one of them gets taken out, even if your bias is to the short side, recognize a key level is gone. I should be looking at every indication. It's broken my key level. It's given higher lows. Each time I got short, it's at a higher price. Each time I'm getting out, it's at a higher price. Join the trend and make some of that money to the long side. That way, even if I'm more short than long, you're still up on the day. And that's why it's your trade of the day, because you can't always fight the trend. Find a way to join the trend and recognize when it has changed on you.
On that note, still a ton of strength coming through in crypto land. If you haven't done so already, that's the link to the watch list, guys. Real simple. Enter your email address, shows up in your inbox for free every single day. That's a look at what you get, all the research you need in the pre-market for free from us to you every day. Here is Bitcoin right now. We bounced off 25,200, bit of a pullback right now, but great looking daily chart at this point for Bitcoin. If you zoom in a little bit more here, let's go to an hourly and show you exactly what's happened over the past 24 hours or so. Huge move up from 21.5 to 25.5 for BTC. There's Ethereum. Finally got through that last high there that it was struggling with over the morning anyways for ETH. So yeah, a lot of strength in crypto-related names this morning and throughout the day as well. I was just noticing Snapchat just popping back up. It looks like this event has wrapped up. I'm going to double check on that, but just a heads up, there's still a few headlines coming through from that Investor Day event for Snapchat. This is what we started off with this morning, a huge gap to the upside on Roku. Coming through with more cost-cutting measures in this report. They also pointed towards profitability to come for Roku. Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so. Good job, Neil, on that one. As crypto bouncing around here today. I just made a little bit of a keystroke error on my Meta. We've been shorting Meta all the way up here, and I posted it in the chat. We are going to talk about Roku in a second. I just want to tell everyone that we've been short up here, and I meant to put 175.40 for the reload. Instead, I put 174.40. Duh. So we just punched into the short, but we should be short up here. We're going to wait for it to pop up above this high before we get out. So let's just wait to see. We didn't mean to get short there. Thank God it was just, we were just putting back in what we already took out. So we've been really hitting Meta today, and it's been a pretty successful trade. Needless to say, what could have been the trade of the day, crypto going crazy as well. Roku right now, fail if anybody was short. Now, I don't know, where Roku's going to go today. I'm surprised it went this high, $76, but we put it on here right on the sticky note today that we wanted Roku into the long if we broke through 72. Now, why was 72 so important? It wasn't. It was just the pre-market high. So the minute that we took that down, Neil's probably going to have a sad story to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was long down here. I actually was waiting for 66. It's crazy because it only got to 66.50, and again, 66 was just, I wanted to sort of play off yesterday's close around 64, and I just didn't want to get too close to that price, right? So, you know, I wanted to get it, hold it anyways. There's the break of 72, nice move up again. I lost my notes on it, but it was 19%, I believe, increase there in users. Just a monster quarter for Roku, honestly. They don't make money, and the guide wasn't any good, but there it goes, right up to 76, so it was a good trade for Roku. It was one in, it was the pre-market high break. I know I said that I wouldn't trade too many pre-market breaks and things like that, but to be completely honest with you, you know, that's on earnings plays, you either get that dip, which Neil will talk about, or you wait. And I waited, I tried to get the dip, but we waited and we struck when that one trade was there. Remember, there's so many different strategies, scalping in and out, getting trades, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But for me, I waited for that one to come through, and it did, and it was Roku. And right now it is having a problem up here at 76. So probably a short up there, but congratulations to Roku shareholders today. A big report and a big day for you.
Yeah, it's a big one. And look, I got the short end of the stick on Roku. I was looking at the 200 period right around that 68.5 and the previous high at 67. So you look at levels like that and you're looking for that dip buy. Now, thankfully, it did this move to give some context in the pre-market off that the PPI number. So you're already down at like 66, establishing that support off the previous high, then the higher low off the 200 period at 68. But here's where it gets saucy. Like I have the 78 break, sorry, the 70 break, scalp the dollar, and this is where the mistake comes in. Reloading at the breakout price. So that's a breakout scalp trade, but your support's down at 68. I'm never really holding 70 all the way to 68. So I ended up stopping that out because I had a bad entry, but this was really the money fills at the open. Let's always go back to your original thesis. Sometimes new trades can present themselves like a breakout that wasn't there before. But if your original thesis is the 200 period moving average for support off the open, then your long is off that level. And when it holds at the open, like your entries are more or less here off of that, or some lower highs off of that level. So, you know, you end up missing out on it. It's not really it's not all bad, like you make, then you lose. But what's bad is that you don't have the long. And I was looking for the dip buy. It did set up. It just showed me a new trade. I was like, ooh, shiny new thing, breaking even dollar. And I got away from my original plan on the stock, which it happens all the time. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't happen to me on a regular basis, but that's what happened on Roku. Still a great day for the stock. And I don't know where it's headed, but it is one of the stronger names in the market today. So I wouldn't be fighting this. I'd be thinking about longs at least, especially if the market wants to break out. VWAP looks pretty darn good.
President Biden making some comments right now on Balloon Gate. Shouldn't move the market, but hey, you never know. Here's Shopify. Here's the headline. Anyways, we were talking about this morning with Shopify revenue forecast. Not good. Downside for the shares as well off of that. It was mostly the forecast that was a problem coming off the holiday quarter. If you missed the initial move, however, not much to do with this thing today. Just hanging out here, down 15% for Shopify.
That's exactly how I feel. Like we had the initial moves. Okay, you know, Shop was good. We shorted it into 47. Played it down, trailed out at 45, kind of did this nonsense in here, and then just started like scalping the living crap out of it off the 45 level. And it's like take this, that sucks, but then actually get it off 45, it goes 44.5. Get it off 45, it goes 44.70. Get it off 45, it stops me out during the trade of the day. Whatever. Wicks me out while we're doing trade of the day, so I jump back in, and it's just grinding higher. So each time it's like these paper cuts when the move was off the open. Like I don't think we're recreating any of this magic this late in the day, but if it does flush to the low, fair enough. It's short sell restricted at this point. So that means it's a little bit trickier for it to absolutely tank. It doesn't mean it can't, but anyone going short has to have an uptick, which does mean sometimes it'll barcode like this. I'm back into it. I'll give it to that wick high because I was wicked out. But you know, it almost feels like the magic is done on this. And you look at the range that, you know, like Roblox is still putting in a bigger range in the afternoon, and we're just talking Roku's doing a little bit more activity there. That might be the place to be, but I'm giving it a couple of shots here off 45.
Yeah, for me, we put Shopify on the sticky note today, or did we? No, we did not. We just talked about it early. I thought there was a chance for this to actually get going a little bit, and it did off the open. I mean, first of all, off the open, it went down. It got going there to that 46.94. It's too bad because the level that we really talked about early was 47 bucks, and it almost got there. So the reason why 47's right there. Now, I don't know. I should have done. So I did it on Roku. I played the break. The thing is that this was the only opportunity to get short right there, right? And like, unless you're able to make that trade, that's a tough one. So I feel like the short 47 was the right trade, and since then it really hasn't given anything back. 46 top, very, very nice. Let's see what's happening to the market. I'm already short right now, Palantir, and short Meta, and Meta is really printing now, coming back into the downside. So yeah, I like this name. I don't know if it's a short anymore. It's kind of just leveling off. So, you know, I pose that to like what's happening in Meta right now. Seeing nice move down. You know, much more happening in some of these other names. So for me, let's just let Shopify lie where it is right now. We missed the trade at 47, and I'm not going to get back into anything just because. So everybody asking about Mr. Wonderful, hate him, love him, or hate him, Kevin O'Leary on in a half hour. So I'm excited to have him come on. We had a great time the last few times. Good questions I have ready to go, and I know Brendan is going to be asking him all about, you know, crypto, FTX, and some of those things as well. So we're excited to have Kevin on, and I just saw some people asking when's he coming on. I just tweeted it out. It's 2:45, and if something changes, we will let you know. So that's that. And the Trade Ideas promo is now live, so you can get 30% off into President's Day and Family Day here in Canada just by using Trader TV 30. Man, that AI stuff.
That's what I'm
that
interested
Michael Noss was showing everybody was pretty cool. So we're gonna go out for a drink here after, and Michael's gonna tell us all about the AI feature there because you know, then we'll see what happens. Then I won't have to make. Oh, how many trades have I made today?
You just go like this. The keys press themselves.
So I've only gotten 205 fills today. So if I can teach the AI to do that for me, that'd be great. Then I could just chill out and sit back, relax. No more carpal tunnel. Yeah, that'd be great, which I don't have. But all right, let's go, guys. Back over to the big desk.
All right, let's continue along here. I'm just noticing, guys, crypto back to the downside a little bit right now, but still hanging out at day highs overall. Nice consolidation underway for BTC, holding 25,000 as resistance right now. It's amazing considering where we were at the beginning of the week, but nice move regardless for both BTC and ETH. Back to the upside, we heard about Coinbase already. A lot of these crypto-related stocks, I mean, even the little ones, back to the upside in a big way, some of which have been pretty ugly so far this year.
Hey-o.
So it just
like SI?
Yeah, SI. I'll get back to Coinbase in a second, but I just wanted to go over Roblox for a second because I just sort of said like it looks maybe a little bit more interesting than short and Shopify. So morning breakout, 44 quarter, 44 quarter, 44 quarter consolidation way down, 44 quarter and change rolling over. So just I want to get this one out of the way. Then I want to get on the offer right around 44 and a quarter on Roblox. See if it can't retrace back to the lows. I maybe just missed it. I don't want to chase it too far. But I might get a little something out in front of that level and then work the short into here on Roblox. So I think Coinbase, so I've been sitting it out, but if you look at sort of the similar idea, like this is it, double, I don't know, kind of finding support at 69, rolling over, and now you're just going back and forth. And when I remember the bigger picture, just got into Roblox, when I remember the bigger picture here, like this is, it's almost the definition of diddling in a gigantic range. Like, remember how it ran away from 67? When it got up to 61, that was kind of like, sorry, 71, that was sort of the bigger level. Well, now you're directly in the middle of that range. So I want to let it decide what's going to happen next for me. If it pounces down to 67 even, I think you're looking for maybe a dip buy off 67s. If it carries through, that's going to tell you the short's in there. Otherwise, allow it to break back to the upside from here because I don't want to be messing around with this middle at 69. But like I said, I think Roblox might be more interesting. That's why I just got into it.
So we're talking about crypto, yeah. So Joe Biden, if any objects presents a threat to the American people, we will take it down. So thanks, Joe Biden, for that one, and I think that's important, man. I mean, I don't know what it has to do with crypto. I was just seeing some notes coming in here. He is expecting to speak with Xi from China about all this, and he makes no apologies to China. Okay, so apparently they are. No, this is what it was. It says right here. It says U.S. So this is from Biden. The U.S. was able to protect sensitive sites against collection by Chinese high-altitude balloon. So it was, I guess, a data collecting high altitude Chinese balloon. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. All right.
All right.
Well, I don't.
Chill, Winston.
Chill, Greg. Oh, by the way, remember I was saying when they were like, oh, let's get beer money for this thing that they found
It's
out
real.
there?
I told you it was nice.
So I was like, oh, just short
you it was
AMD. But no. They got a better idea. What they found out there was like pure gold. Like they're putting this table together. It's wood. It's cushioned seats.
Somebody threw it a nice. It was like, why are you
I'm
just
like,
leaving
guys,
a
you
ridiculous
can get,
nice
like, I
table?
think you can get like $400. Like, let's see if it's real wood. Like I was saying, wow, good
Hustle, always
good
hustle.
find there. These traders
Always hustle.
always hustling, and every day they're hustling back
day
there.
I'm hustling, hustling.
No, more than 200. Trust me, Brad. Okay, well,
No,
they can
because
get
they're
200.
asking. Because they're asking
They
200.
can get 200 for sure. Okay, just
only
quickly
get
here.
that.
Here goes Meta. Spin it. We'll spin this for trade ideas today because you could save some of that. Okay, right there, nicely down to 174.60 here on Meta. You know, while Sharif was talking about, oh, he's going long and everything like that, good call. I don't know if he's out, what he's doing, but I'm like in the chat, I'm going short, I'm going short, I'm going short. So short Meta, short Meta, short Meta, boom, right down there into the 200 period. So right now this was a mistake. It's printing out now, but really we should still be short from here. All we did was add to our position. That's something that I have to add, so I'm here to tell you guys this. I've been adding a lot of stuff to the toolbox. One thing I need to add is more aggressive when we're right. So when the market is going for us, we have to add to our positions, add to the positions when we believe in them. And this was a mistake, but like now that I see it working, why not? If I like the short and it's breaking another level right here through 175, let's add to it. So right there, a nice little win here for us on that. So crypto, I didn't do anything other than look at SI today. We traded SI yesterday, it took $3. Oh, it's a New York name. Took $3 from it yesterday right there. And by the way, Neil and I in a new version today, and it's actually, for me, it's popping pretty good right now. I know, knock on wood, well, I will probably find something out soon. But there's SI today, gets as high as 24, comes right back in. So if you're looking at a 20-minute chart here, there's the top, a couple tops there today of 24. We came back into 23. I wonder if this move is done. If you zoom back out a little bit here, on SI, you know, it just coincides, right? So there's 25, again, back in early, 24, sorry, back in early February. So I feel like that's it there. If anything's gonna hold, it's gonna be the 1750 area. So I like that for this look, but for right now, SI a little dead. And then, wow, what a move up for crypto. Glad to be holding Cardano as it's up 41, 42 cents right now. We could show a little bit here of a little couple coins right now. Let me just refresh this. These are just the top coins just by order. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're just leveled here. This is not my portfolio, although today I wish I had more things in there. Polygon Matic, of course, NFT built. A lot of NFTs built on that. There's my Cardano at 40 cents. OKB, never heard of that. Solana is another name that I'm in as well. But the big guys today leading the way, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, you know, unless you really have some insight into some of these coins down here, it is tough to pick up little coins. I know Nicole Harris was talking about Floki.
Yeah.
That's up 80% today, but that's like a Dogecoin. Floki is like a dog, right? So nicely done there, Nicole Harris, for talking about that with our viewers as well. So anyways, crypto, Brendan, continues to be a story.
Brad and I just talking about how many tall boys you can buy for $200. I have no idea. I've never done that. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it's $3-4 for a tall boy these days. Yeah, it's so like that's 50 beers. I have no idea. Anyways, here's what we need to know about Tesla right now this afternoon, guys. 362,000 U.S. vehicles, quote unquote, recalled by the National Highway Traffic and Safety Act. Elon immediately takes to Twitter and says the word recall for an over-the-air software update is, just flat wrong. So you don't have to do anything. They simply just push out another version of the software for this quote-unquote recall for Tesla this afternoon.
Yeah. So just two things. One, before we go to Tesla, I want to get to Tesla in a second, and then Ford too. That last move in the downside to the market, like you did this on Shopify, that's why you get wicked out. You get right back in on a bad wick, and then it just flushes right into the next level. So that ended up working out. Roblox kind of working in the money. But Tesla, I don't know, like Tesla was, it was interesting. Like I had a couple of good trades, a couple of bad ones on Tesla, taking a break. And I said this to Fahad when we were doing some practice on the trade of the day while the screen was up. how you get a breakout trade kind of matters, right? Like, you never want it to be into a parabolic move. So like the breakout doesn't work off this level, allow it to not work and get out, and then buy the dip on. Buy the dip and VWAP. But I want to show you, like, once this buy the dip trade worked and established an opening range on Tesla, like this is the opening bottom. I kind of just looked at it like this. Actually, I got it wrong there. Let's go here and show you. Once it did this, put in the lower high, like this is where I bought the dip, all that craziness off the open, down and bottom, it set up this little range. So double bottom, higher low, on a trend line. And then the best entries that I had was when it broke this trend. So like off the trend, and then when it broke the trend here, I was able to short it into VWAP. That was pretty solid. I should have gone long off VWAP here, but I didn't. I got an accidental breakout on a stop. I just got out of it, thank goodness. And then I got away from that notion by getting in and out off what I thought would be support. And then they had that recall thing. I just kind of joined the party, scalping a short trade in there. But then a tight stop out, a tight stop out. I just find that the best trade was I had one trend going long off that trend and then shorting it to VWAP when it reversed, and everything else was kind of noise. And speaking of noise, Ford is making some noise to the upside right now. This market's not terribly strong. It's kind of trying to be strong, but Ford's up 1.5%, and it's really close to the level. I mean, the 200-period moving average sits at 1320. I've been kind of looking at this level after it did this. So there's your 1320 up here. It's getting really close to the level I wanted to play off of. So I'm going to be on the offer in front of 20s, probably sitting at 16 to 18. If it breaks, I feel like there's a reversal coming in Ford, but I am going to short it first. Been waiting for it to get to this price, and kind of shorting a strong name. We'll see what happens, but that's the level I like.
All right, yeah, Tesla. I mean, I didn't trade Tesla today, but yeah, those recalls there are going to hurt. I don't really have anything on here yet for anything here. We're still watching Meta. I don't have any Tesla going on. The one thing I did see in the chat, though, as we are getting ready to have Kevin O'Leary come on in 20 minutes, so get ready for that, was DraftKings. So DraftKings, again, another name that does report today. I'm trying to pull this one. There it is. That does report today. We had a few trades here, just needless to say. Remember I said I have like 200 fills? Well, probably 20 of them are right here on DraftKings before it did take out the top. So we were trying to go, we were short in front of 18, which worked. It's still a positive stock for us. So that's why, this trade kind of looks like some of those trades that we try to explain to you. But basically, it was breaking 18. We were shorting it until it did break 18, and that's that. It goes up to 1850, stops on a dime, and then comes back in. So DraftKings, I feel like their guide isn't going to be great moving forward, but I don't know. They had a record month, apparently. I think it was January for the state of New York. So that's obviously a big state there for population and gambling, with tons of sports in the state of New York. Also, California would be a good one to get on your side. So let's see what DraftKings can do. But if you're looking at the daily chart, it kind of reminds me of Shopify, where it's really performed well over the last little while, from 11 up to 18. So I feel like if they don't guide, to me, it's all about the guide. They're probably going to beat whatever the estimates are, because a lot of these estimates are sandbagged. So that's why you're seeing like Shopify beat, Palantir beat. Like, all these guys are beating, but they're not actually producing anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like Roku, I think was, or what was it yesterday? Something was 59 minus 58 cents versus minus 64. So they wind up beating. What was it? It wasn't Roku. Something yesterday.
No, Shop beat, but guided put. But it wasn't
yesterday.
It was something else.
Where's my list from yesterday?
Something else.
Oh, it was Roblox. I think it was Roblox. It was Roblox yesterday. They beat, but were still so disastrous that they beat their own poor guide, right? And then these companies that come out like Shopify that guide lower then get hit because they guided lower. So let's see what comes with DraftKings tomorrow. If it's a good number, man, we definitely take out 21, 22. Like, you're going to go up 20, 30% on a DraftKings beat. And then I would say to look at this level, 23 as a max pain if you're short. But, again, if they talk about the forward guide, then I could see this thing falling back down below VWAP, below this 50 period, and then settling around $13 or $14 tomorrow. So we'll find out what the applied move is for DraftKings, but I would be a little nervous holding shares into this report. I just feel like there's a big move coming here for DraftKings.
Out here, SI making a move to the downside, guys. So Binance had secret access to Silvergate bank account of U.S. partner Binance US. Binance had secret access to Silvergate bank account to U.S. partner Binance US. So volume anyways in a downtick there for SI. It was down anyways on the day, but getting hit a little bit, it would appear on that. Google, if we'd like to wrap up with Alphabet, we were talking a little bit about AI again today for Alphabet after they told employees to test out Bard and I guess complain with any defects that they find. But wow, big move here for SI, guys.
Whoa. Heyo.
That's pretty cool.
That was
I
pretty
like
cool.
that. That's got my background. There it is.
I just want to quickly, you had asked about implied volatility on DraftKings. 9.7%, so about 10% on that one. Yeah, I didn't think, there we go. So you just kind of look at this tools, optionsai.com. We don't have any affiliations, just a good tool that Prad sent to me. So I like it when we get good, interesting things. Now, Alphabet, I don't know, it's kind of strong today. Like, I like what I see in terms of strength for Alphabet. Granted, you can see what happened when it got the yada, yada, yada Bard bad a couple of days to the downside. Made this low at 93.60, which also, spoiler alert, whoops, I went the wrong way, also happened to be a big level on the daily. Like that was your 50 period on the daily, also bouncing off that level. So you had that working. One day underneath, the rejection of that break, reestablish the same support level, that's all bullish. Run off of the level and then make a higher low. Everything about that looks pretty strong to me. I'm asking myself why I was waiting for 94 dip today and not willing to step into the 95. But I was waiting for the 94, so I don't have it. But this could go. It's flat on the day. But, I mean, if you look at this channel, if it breaks out, I mean, even if it breaks out here, this is like 97.75 or something, the market goes higher. This has a lot of room to run back into the upside. So everything about this the last couple of days is pretty bullish off that false break of the 50 period on the daily. So I'd say while Google is flat on the day, the market's down, it's relatively strong and showing signs that it wants to make a breakout. Market goes green, Google should be one of the better returns in the afternoon.
Yeah, we've only been going long Google, so I'm with you on all that talk here today. So it looks like we did go a little short there actually at 96.50 against that pre-market high because that's where we were getting out of these longs. But then we got out of it. We actually made some money a little bit there, then got out of it. Then look at these longs here where we hit 96.80 long up to 97.80. That's $1. Then it kept fading back into this same level here of 96.50 long. These are just quick little, maybe we can show it. They're just quick little scalps. We dropped out once, but kept buying it. So we dropped out, saw that big wick, got back in right there, took it back up to the upside, took this to the upside. Then the last time it didn't work, and that's when we broke VWAP, and then of course we broke that level and then marched right back up to the north side again, and it looks like it's trying to take it out. So I agree here. I think that you can go long Google on any break rate here, so that's probably what I'll do. 97.05 or 97.06 here, trying to go long Google through there. We talked about the transfer of wealth over the last little while there. It was basically a clean move from Microsoft, and it was about the move down in Microsoft the move up in Microsoft was 100 billion, and the move down in Google was about 100 billion. So now I feel like there's more just in the stock price. There's more than that coming back into Google now off that 94 bottom. So let's see. Hopefully we can get back up to $100 here for Google over the next little while. It's a big holding of mine, so I'm a little biased to it. But again, we talked about that yesterday. That's a split. We talked about it yesterday there, that it was cruising. It was going until they failed on their Bard presentation, right? But then yesterday they sent out that note, all hands on deck, everybody go home. And just like we're asking ChatGPT to write essays for us and things like that, people are starting to now test out their system against ChatGPT, and hopefully they'll be able to come up with something, implement it, and then I can see the stock going right back up here, 103, 104, something like that. So I don't think the story is done here, obviously, about AI. It's just beginning. So if you're going to be in any AI name, I like Google, I like IBM, and of course, I'm long Microsoft for other reasons other than AI, and it's nice that they have that now. They spent $10 billion in chat, right, in OpenAI, $10 billion in OpenAI. It's resulted in an over $300 billion move in their market cap.
That's not fair, because they've been investing on it for years, though. All of these companies...
they announced it, is what I'm saying.
I know. Well, that's weird. It's like because all of these companies have been investing in AI for years, and then all of a sudden we care about a late investment or a step one. Like, the real game changers in AI might be like 10, 15 years away. Like when it starts putting H&R Block out of business and insurance, I mean.
And people writing sports articles. It already is.
I mean like the insurance, like
the bigger ones.
The implications for some of the bigger industries out there, accounting, insurance, like they're huge. Engineering, like those are the bigger fish. And who knows when these companies are probably going to win.
Autonomous driving, like that. There's so much Tesla.
There's so much.
There's so much Tesla motorcycle. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, why isn't there a Tesla motorcycle?
That's a good question.
There's so many opportunities right now in this market, man, to get going. Okay, let's just go back.
Just go ahead.
No, I was going to do nothing. I was going to look at Shopify. Still at 45. I was looking at that breakout right there. But yeah, it's Snapchat Investor Day.
Exactly. Snapchat's been all over the darn place. I was just sort of going to comment because a lot of people have been talking about this. I want to get to shop because I just reloaded it. But look, it's essentially showing you a good 3 or 4% range in the last couple of hours, and I don't see any reason why you want to trade it too far away from this. So to me, if it pops up here again, I think it's a bit of a fade. Just most of everything is seen a bit negative coming out of the investor day. So if it does make a move up, I think it is more of a fade than anything else. When I say fade, I mean short. I think it's just every now and then we use terminology and like everyone's like, what do you mean by that? Fade. If I say fade, I mean short in front of a resistance level. Generally speaking, short in front of it, not on top. So I did reload on Shopify. It's got wick tops. I got wicked out here and then jumped back in. So it tried to wick top again off 45. If it reclaims down around 95, I'd add another time. I have my bids down south to be able to get it. I like the breakout on Alphabet, so I'm going to probably take that as well. And then it's in a couple of cents away. And then the other one we're looking at for some potential trades. Obviously, we're just talking Tesla. I don't know where the motorcycle thing came from. But anyways, Tesla making some higher lows, Elon saying it's not that big of a deal. And if you really look at this from the open, it kind of made this bottom and then a higher low, then a higher low. It's still trying to show some signs of strength. I want to give it the respect of that 210 level because 210 has been pretty good. If you want to go back like the last couple of days, in the afternoon yesterday, it was pretty good. So I kind of like that 210 for a dip buy in Tesla. Elon giving it the all clear isn't the entire reason though.
Yeah, I know. That just came up because someone in the chat was like Tesla motorcycle, and I was like,
so random.
You know what? Because the thing is, they have the Semi coming, they have their Cybertruck coming, and yeah, Tesla to the moon. I think at some point, if not already. I mean, it's up almost 100% in a month and a half. All right, so right here for Meta, you're coming up to a level that I think we should short one more time here until it breaks. We're just going to short it at 40. Where did I put my offer? 47? That seems a little bit early. Okay, well, we're going to get it right now. I was going to say, that seems a little bit late to get short. I should have almost been short in the 30s, I feel. There it is. So we just got short right now. So if this takes out 60 or so, we're out. We don't want to be in this one for very long, right? So we've already hit the short numerous times. The reason why we have a bad price, but we took advantage of it anyways, we got more out down here that I probably wouldn't have, is that this was a mistake. So we talked about why that was a mistake, but hey, it still went down. But there's the move up. The market is right back to its, not really. I thought it was back near here, but it's not. We still have a little ways to go. That's 12,700 on the NASDAQ. So you're bouncing off that right here, 12,700. Hopefully we can come back down. This is the high of the day right here. So you're about 30 handles away, 25 handles away from that high right now. So yeah, I could see that. Okay, there we go. So we're out of Meta. I was going to say, so I could see Meta continuing the march now, especially if we do break the highs. But let's just regroup. We just got into a long there. Let's just regroup. We just got about at 70. We didn't mean to go long, but sometimes you win on those. So there it is. We'll flush ourselves down the toilet for that last short. But Meta is a good stock for us today. And it's a positive name. We've made money on it. So don't have too many issues with it. But again, just respecting your own stuff that you have written on here. We talked about this yesterday, that it was an EMA, so exponential moving average. And people are like, well, what is that green line? That's the 200 period on a 1 minute chart. So for scalping purposes, I like to use that. And honestly, we should have, look how good that worked right there for Meta. All right, now that Google's breaking, don't tell me it's breaking higher than Okay, not yet. So upside right now on Google. Oh, no, actually, it did take out some levels that I was thinking about here. 97. Yeah, I mean, right there. Let's take out 97.10.
That's where I have.
Yeah, so if 97.10 goes out on Google, we're going to take that long. Looks like it wants to work to the upside. Palantir, All right, Palantir's a money trade. And we talked about this. I tweeted this out and I tried to get like a little bit of explanation on there, but it's hard for me because we only have a certain amount of characters to show right here. But here's the trade on Palantir that I talked about it. So I tweeted it out. You can go find it at TraderTV Sean. Let's just do it live. It'll be easier for me to show you right here live on the screen. So what I was talking about with Palantir here was I wanted to go short when we broke VWAP and the 50 period here, or the 200 period. But the thing was that was not a good decision. And why? You know, when you look back on it, hindsight's what you sort of have to do for trading a little bit. It was too much there's nothing happening here. Like, this was not a great level. Maybe taking a little bit of shares, but then I shouldn't have averaged in because the out I used was just at that time, the 50 period, and the 50 period's right in the middle. Like, it was 10.05. So I got out at 10.05, and then I was like, you know what? I still like the short in this, but let's use 10.10, a past level that we had bumped up on 3, 4, 5 times right here over an hour. So then I got short again at 08. And then because we only took 5-cent hit here, then we just started cashing. So there's our 08. Look where our first out is, 98. That's 10 cents. Then we brought it all the way down to 80s, back into here, right? 85, 86, then got somewhere out 90, 91. So we are still short Palantir here against that 10.10. So I think like this is a good short. It's 11 cents in the money. It's well worth it for us. So I like this Palantir short. And just out of the corner of my eye, I do see Mr. Kevin O'Leary. He's getting ready to rock and roll. I'm excited to have this our friend back on the show to talk about this. I know it's not Shark Tank for him, you know. I mean, I don't want it, like, yeah, Shark Tank has his friends on it, you know, Dallas Mavericks. Oh yeah, I should ask him about Kyrie Irving.
Oh, we're going to go down that road?
See if he's talked to Mark Cuban. I don't want to go down any roads. I just want to talk about the potential for the Dallas Mavericks to maybe lift one of these this year.
So look, I will tell you this much.
We should get Mark Cuban on the show.
I would love it, but obviously I think they have a great chance to win off of that. But it is a can of worms with Kyrie, and that's, you know what? It's interesting because you weigh risk versus the reward, right? The risk of maybe some negative publicity for whatever you believe versus a dude that can bring you the darn ship.
But it's about the ring.
Everything comes about getting that ring. So before we get to that, a couple of things. I do want to thank we had some gifts of memberships, and I want to make sure I got it. It was from Austin. There it is. Austin gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much there, guys. If you don't know how to claim them, ask Bears versus Bulls. He does a fantastic job. And there's a poll in the chat. Is AI hype here to stay? 59% say here to stay. It's here to stay. It's just a matter of timeline. It's just a matter of timeline. But I want to update a couple of things. I've added to Roblox. I've stopped out of Shopify. But we're all going to sit back, jumped over to Brendan because our big guest is in the house right now.
Hey guys, all right, yeah, we don't want to keep him waiting. He is the chairman of O'Leary Ventures. He is the host of both Shark Tank and Money Court, as you're about to see on CNBC. Mr. Wonderful, back on the show. Kevin O'Leary, great to see you.
Great to hear. Thank you very much.
We have a lot to unpack, a lot to discuss. Kevin's been gracious enough to come by and give us his insight, give us his knowledge to this point as to what has not only happened with FTX, but what is still happening and what is going to happen going forward. Let's kick things off here, Kevin, with just a bit of a backstory maybe. You had a very publicized, paid relationship with the company itself that involved a significant amount of money, funds of your own as well. A lot of people watching right now with a ton of questions in regards to where are we at in this process? Fraud, you know, we can leave to the courts to decide. Where are we at in this process? Can we give people, you know, some sort of indication as to whether or not they can see or look forward to seeing anything back in this?
Yeah, that's a great question. In fact, you're right. The narrative on the whole FTX issue has changed. It's no longer about the trial, which will happen who knows when, but more about recovery. And so since this story broke November 6th, a lot has transpired in terms of identifying assets. For example, now remember, these are alleged rumors, but it's where there's smoke, there's fire, because the regulator has not released the trading records yet from each of the accounts. But here's what we got so far. And obviously, I'm an active participant. I've got my own army of lawyers like everybody else does, both as an equity shareholder in both FTX International and FTX US, but also had over $10 million in assets inside multiple FTX accounts, which were scraped with no trading records left. So let's go first to recovery. It looks like the Bahamian government has $4.2 billion sequestered. And then there's another $1.2 billion alleged to be sitting in the US, FTX US, another $400 million of cash. But now what everybody's focusing on are all the assets inside of Alameda. Remember, Alameda bought a lot of stock, a lot of deals. They own a ton of Robinhood. They have a bunch of other assets in public companies. They own a piece of WonderFi, for example. And so all of these are being looked at by hedge funds and high net worth individuals and private equity firms, because in order to sell Alameda, which will be done in an auction process, you need a first bidder, a backup bid. And that's going to end up being somewhere in that $800 million to $1.5 billion range. That's sort of the bid ask right now on that. So there's a ton of cash sitting around here. And so I have to be, I'm always optimistic, but before this whole thing plays out, there's going to be some recovery. And I don't know how long that's going to take. But what everybody wants right now that had an account is to turn on the server again so you can see your account, see the trading records, but keep it gated so you can't put money in or take it out, but at least see the records before April 15th when everybody has to pay their taxes. And so you got a lot of cross currents going on, but nobody's talking about Sam Bankman-Fried anymore or the trial or alleged fraud. They just want the money, and that's the way it should be.
And a good point in the sense that, there's so much involved in this from people, just ordinary people, a lot of, whom are watching right now. So that's why I was mentioning, can we give them some sort of indication, some sort of hope in the sense that, some sort of funds are recovered. So good to hear that the process is underway. I want to talk about the process of investing and the process of venture capital in a sense that this was the who's who of investors involved in this company. I can read off, a very impressive list. Sequoia Capital, Ontario Teachers Pension Plan, Third Point, Dan Loeb's Third Point Ventures, SoftBank, Alan Howard, Peter Thiel, Paul Tudor Jones. The list goes on and on. Everybody's heard about the celebrity side of things as well. Talk a little bit about due diligence when it comes to before money goes into something like this. And also, how do we, on an ongoing basis, not see something on the wall as an indication of this going wrong?
So let's go through that list. I'm on that list too, and I can assure you, having talked to many of those participants, we all feel like idiots, of course. But the real question is, will this change how we invest? And the answer is no. So let me explain why. FTX was a startup. A big one, but a startup. And we all invest in startups. I don't care if you're private equity or you're venture, there's capital around for startups because the returns, if you get a successful deal, are extraordinary. So if you look at data back from 1954 in the Boston area where venture capital started, and you look after all those decades, 8 out of 10 deals either fail or are living dead, and 2 out of 10 are extremely fantastic outcomes and pay for all the other 8 mistakes times 20, times 30, times 40. So for every FTX, there's a Google. For every Lehman Brothers, there's something else. There's always something going to zero and something going to the moon. That's the way it is. And so when you look at due diligence, you ask yourself, okay, let's say we had done more due diligence. Would that change the outcome when 80% fail? Probably not. Now, they fail for various reasons. In this case, alleged fraud, and we'll see how that plays out. But this doesn't change anything about the way I'm going to invest or, how any of those other firms you just listed are going to invest. And the diligence done here, I don't know if you know this, but Tiger spent millions with Bain Capital to diligence this platform before they became one of the lead investors. And everybody knew that. So there is a lot of, when a deal like FTX US comes out and it's so hot to get an allocation, they're not worried about due diligence because they know 8 out of 10 times it's going to fail. They're hoping they're going to get one of those unicorns. The one thing I'm very, not proud of, but happy about, when the FTX US deal, when the word got out that I got allocated equity, I got inundated by institutional capital, high net worth hedge funds saying, you got to give me a piece of your allocation because you owe me. We've been doing stuff together 20, 30 years. But I had this gut feeling, not that I was involved in something nefarious, but it was so nascent, so early, so volatile. I said, no, I'm not going to put anybody else's money into this thing. I'm going to keep my own dough in it. That's it. And whether it's a success or a failure, I'm not going to put someone else in front of that freight train. Either way, I am so happy I did that, because other people that are managing other people's money that put it in FTX are getting litigated in both directions. I'm not one of them. I look like an idiot by myself. That was all my own money. It all went to zero. It was all in my operating company, of which I'm 100% owner. So the operating company took a hit. I hate losing $18 million. It really pisses me off. But, you know, I've had great investments and I've had bad ones. This goes in the bad column. And does it change the way I'm going to invest? No, doesn't. Got up in the morning, got right back to it.
I want to go back to Alameda, as you mentioned earlier. This was a note that came out shortly after this news broke. The appointed CEO, Ray, in a court filing, essentially implying that FTX was transferring funds from the exchange to Alameda, which was the trading side of things. I mean, we all know in a regular banking environment, this is just a no-brainer, no-fly zone. Give me your thoughts here. I want to get into regulation and where we are in the process of more regulation coming in this business, but give me your thoughts on this story.
Yeah, John Ray testified in front of the Senate a few weeks ago. I testified there as well. What everybody's waiting for are the trading records. So if it's alleged that transactions occurred between Alameda accounts and FTX accounts and clients' accounts, the alleged so-called trades, then show the records. Everybody wants to see them. And so obviously these records are going to have to come out before a trial. And I think because we're in this discovery period, in this trial, maybe it's going to take a while to get them out. But, you know, when people tell me, did that happen or not? Well, show me the records. I mean, like everybody else, we've got to see the records. And they exist. Apparently, they're backed up on the AWS service Amazon has, and we've got to get them. So Ray's under quite a bit of pressure right now by account holders. You know, you make a claim like that, you got to show the records. And so let's see them. Now, to your point on regulation, if there's any silver lining to this whole FTX thing, and let me tell you, when I went down to those hearings in Washington, when the hearings were over, they take about 4 hours or so. All the senators are still there. So we started, you know, we mingled and we started talking. Here's what I realized about this. These senators are really, they're fatigued. They're really tired of gathering every 6 months when the next crypto company blows up and goes to zero. I mean, just last week, Genesis filed for bankruptcy. Every week, there's another one going to zero because they're totally unregulated and they keep issuing tokens that are worthless. The latest, you know, game that FTX did, as well as Binance, is they issue a token that supposedly gives you some special ownership of the platform. That's not true. You own nothing. There's no rights to it. It just gives you trading discounts if you own the BNB or the FTT token. But if you look at, let's say, the reason FTX went to zero is CZ, the competitor of FTX, Binance's head guy, put 550 million tokens right on Sam's lap on November 6th. He couldn't carry it. He didn't have 550 million cash. They had to go to bankruptcy. And I think it was a brilliant move on CZ. He wiped out his competitor. But now CZ's got the same problem. He's got regulators humming around him like a wasp around a beehive, and he's got $64 billion worth of BNB tokens in 2 wallets instead of 97% of all the allocation. Well, what happened? I don't know who owns those wallets. Nobody knows. Nobody knows who owns Binance anyways. But what happens if one of those wallets, somebody wants to sell $30 billion worth of tokens, just like they put them to Sam Bankman-Fried? That'll be the sound of Binance going down the toilet. So these things are going to keep happening over and over again. And my point about regulation is the senators, well, they're pissed. And you ask me why Gensler is coming down heavy-handed on Kraken last week and shutting down staking and telling every player in the industry in the U.S., read the room. I just whacked Kraken for $39 million fine. Who's next? Bring it on. So that kind of environment is getting very, very aggressive. And the regulators are being applauded on by the senators and congressmen and women who are saying, what is this? We've had enough of this stuff. So I think the good news for me as an investor, frankly, to turn this into a positive story, would be that I own regulated exchanges. WonderFi is regulated. In Canada, it's regulated. I think the value of regulated exchanges is going to go up over the next few years, while all the unregulated ones get put out of business or go to zero by the regulators. So that's where we're at in crypto. You got to get on board on regulation. You got to stay out of the way of Gensler at the SEC and other regulators. Those hombres in Washington are not happy. And they poked the bear. FTX poked the bear. The bear's awake, and it's pissed.
Give me a time frame here. When do we see meaningful regulation?
Hearings right now. Banking Hearings Committee looking at digital payment systems. I think there'll be another set of hearings early next month, in March. They're going to keep coming. Elizabeth Warren's on a warpath right now about crypto being used for nefarious transactions. She's after, allegedly an $8 billion USDC transaction that went to a rogue nation. I mean, it just could. The tone of this market is so negative, it's probably time to get back in.
And that's a great segue. On the other side of things, we saw the highest inflows into crypto markets in January since last May. Money coming back into crypto across the board. Tell us where you're involved and how you're involved at this point.
Oh yeah, as soon as I got wiped out on FTX, my holdings there, I took every other asset that was not in those wallets and moved them up to Canada under the OSC order inside of BitBuy. So now I've got a regulator keeping an eye on my account. Everything came out of the US. I'm not putting anything ever into an unregulated exchange again. But I also loaded up on Bitcoin when it was in that $16,000 to $17,000 range. But here's something I've learned everybody should think about. Everybody's got to do their own diversification. But I used to hold 32 positions. So I'd look at the vol on 32 positions. Now I only own 7. I'm getting the same vol. You don't need to own 32 tokens to get the vol. You can just own a few and you'll get the same volatility up and down. So now I'm more concentrated in a Bitcoin, a Polygon, an ETH, that kind of thing, HBAR, very, very selected projects, very selected tokens, and I have liquidity in, and I like to stake them. The good news for BitBuy in Canada, it's one of the only 2 licenses where you can stake. So I've got my Polygon staked there, which is great, and you're getting some kind of yield, and it's regulated. So what I'm telling everybody to ask me is, look, you can get the whole exposure to the entire crypto market with under 10 positions. And that's the way I'm playing it going forward. I don't want to manage 32 anymore. I got a real lesson in life on that whole thing with FTX. But now I'm still back in one of my best performing asset classes. You said it, crypto since Jan 1. But you try telling anybody that. They're so negative on crypto. I like it when everybody hates a sector. It's like energy 18 months ago. I hate energy because Biden hates energy. That was the time to load up.
And a good point. And I know Sean wants to talk to you about energy. I want to leave that for now. But I want to get your opinion on, just to shift gears a little bit. Last we spoke, it was about summer, I think, last year. We were at the height of the inflation mess. We were at the height of the economic trouble at that point. You on this show said you were targeting Q4 or at least the second half of 23 before we started to see some sort of improvement as far as not only inflation, but in a sign of getting back into equities. Are you still on that time frame? And if not, what now?
I haven't reduced my exposure. What I did we haven't talked since the end of last year. So in mid-November, right up to Dece 15th, I sold my losers like everybody else. So I cleaned out a bunch of positions that I was down on. Some of those names, there were high vol tech names I'd lost 60, 70, 80% on. So I took the tax loss. But I repositioned that cash into more conservative positions. And I like to buy stocks when I'm parking dough in the S&P that pay div, that are, good, strong balance sheets. I bought some mid-cap stuff with the paid dividends. You're getting kind of 200 basis points on dividend yields. A good place to park money in the large cap. Same for Canada. I mean, you could park some money in some Canadian banks, get a div. The point is, it's unless you're willing to stomach real volatility, every time there's a print on inflation, on any long duration asset like tech, you're going to get wild swings, and we have had that. But having said that, I actually think equity markets for this calendar year, because the recession has been still put off, we might get a soft landing here. That's what the data says. That print on retail sales a few days ago at over 6%, I mean, you don't see that very often. That was incredible. So supposedly you're going into recession, but we're still at full unemployment, and we get just a knock it out of the park number on retail that you never see that. And so that's got to have the Fed saying, okay. I mean, I can imagine the Fed, looking at that number saying, we're going to just crank it up another 25 basis points and then another 25 basis points. So what that makes me think is the market's probably thinking a terminal rate, that's when the Fed stops raising it, around 5.2%. You're going to see that in Q3, but it's baked in. And so that's not a crazy amount in history, 5%, 6%. We haven't had a massive collapse in terms of employment, or the only issue that's a little sticky is core inflation on food is pretty nasty. Housing's rolled over. It's in the CPI, but it's a leading indicator. It's 18-month-old. I think it's easy as she goes looking for an 8% overall return on equities if you go a little larger, higher quality till the back end of this year. I don't see a meltdown. The economy is too strong, and that retail number, as I like to say, ichi wawa caramba, was that incredible.
I love that. Perfect. Ichiwawa.
I love Star Wars.
Both being parents, yeah, we know all about that. Thank you, Kevin, for coming back to the show, first of all. It's always a fun time. Let's lighten it up. Let's lighten it up a little bit. So let's come over to my screen here. I want to talk about the first time you were here. This is you, myself, and Neil, and we were talking all about watches, and here we were comparing them, and that was a real fun time. Then you came back again, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to buy something here to impress Kevin. So here's the Submariner. Okay, so we bought that. And then now, Kevin O'Leary, I'm going to show you something that I know that you're all about. It is the Apple Watch right now. So I know you'd like this.
Well, listen, I give you permission to wear it on the alternate wrist. You can use it to count your steps, because I actually do that too with an Apple Watch. But I always keep a major piece on my other wrist, so I'm 2 minutes in one.
Smart.
I got to have 2 minutes. And I don't know, since we last talked, if you saw, I picked up that one-of-a-kind AP Shark Tank, open-faced, covered in rubies. It took them 3 years to make it for me. That's going to be the star watch on Shark Tank season 15, red band. I posted it on social. People went nuts, absolutely nuts for that piece.
Yeah, I have you right here on Twitter while you're talking about it, and you did a whole thing about it. That is a pretty impressive watch. I did want to go over that. If they ever make two, just send one over here. I'll show it on the show and everything like that, and don't worry about that for sure. But you know what I used it for? Have you ever used a sleep tracker on the Apple Watch? Because I think that's pretty cool too. You can see your different stages of sleep and everything.
I did use it, but I'm using the Aura for sleep tracking. If the resolution is 10 times out of the Apple Watch. Apple Watch is for working out and my bike rides. I'm down here in Miami. I do 9.2 miles every single morning when the sun rises.
Hello.
That's my workout. But the sleep ring is amazing. And what the sleep ring will tell you, which is really bad news for everybody, is if you drink before you go to bed, you have the shittiest sleep you can possibly imagine. You got to stop drinking before you go to sleep. I can't do it. If I can't have a glass of wine, I might as well be dead. But I tried it for 3 days, no drinking. It blew my mind. My REM sleep went up by 30%. Right. My heart rate dropped by 40%. Like, this ring is a bummer because it tells you you can't drink.
Yeah, it's too real, I guess.
It tells you can't, well, these things tell you can't also trade after drinking. I've found that as well. It's like a couple of drinks. My recovery's terrible.
I thought our P&Ls tell us that.
If I have too many drinks, I have like a 90% losing rate when you get really drunk. But
slow down on the drinks.
I kind of want to. You want to go back and make it nice and simple. But I found something about you. Like, you're an axe guy, right? So you like playing the axe. Is that true? You're a guitar man.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, look. The thing is, you got to live your life. But just before we leave drinking, the real answer to drinking is drink at breakfast. So you metabolize the booze before you go to bed. I said to my wife, honey, what about this? What about we have cocktails in the morning with toast? She said, are you out of your mind? What's the matter with you? I said, look, the Aura ring told me to do that. Right. Just kidding.
I I don't think. I mean, this is why this man's on Shark Tank.
I don't have a problem with that at all, Kevin. But so look, my daughter got gifted a guitar from my neighbor, just sort of out of nowhere, and she's turning 6. And I'm thinking, okay, do we push her down that road? Because she likes the piano, but my wife and I both played the piano. And then she's taking to the guitar, and it's like, a lot of people say start with the piano because that's the way to go. What's your thoughts? Because axe or the piano?
Yeah, no, the piano is actually very good in terms of learning chord structures and the scales. But unfortunately, people think it's easy to learn how to play guitar. It is not. The guitar actually was created out of the piano in the sense that you couldn't move as a performer in the Middle Ages with a piano or harpsichord, so they put it into a guitar which you could transport. But it's really the same principles. When you're pushing down on those strings, you're creating chords. It's learning the chords. I tell everybody there's so much instructional stuff online these days, but the only way to become a good guitarist is you got to practice every single day, and you got to get your calluses. So every night I take out my axe and I play. Sometimes I go live on Instagram just for the hell of it, and just to see if anybody else wants to mess around and jam and stuff. But if you do that, you'll get better and better and better and better. And now I feel that I'm way better than I was 2 years ago just because I'm playing at night. It's a great thing. You need a little yin and yang in your life. You got to do both.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, both is the answer. I love that answer. My wife is going to hate it, but it's going to be both.
My kids started with piano. Now they're doing violin, Kevin. So that's another string there.
That's another one.
That they're
violin's
doing.
Bad news, baby. Oh,
I know. You know how screechy? It's so screechy.
Oh,
it's better than drums.
That's just horrible. That's horrible. You got to get them a soundproof room.
Oh, man, I got to do something. When do you want to come visit us? When are you back in Toronto?
I try and avoid Toronto in January, February, and March because it's really bad for my health. It dries out my skin. So I try and stay here in Miami where it's much nicer. But once the spring comes, I'm there.
Cry me a river there. It dries out all of our skin when it's minus a million.
You don't want me to get chapped lips. I got to stay out of Toronto. February is miserable there. Are you kidding? Miserable.
Come on.
It's true.
Come on, Kevin.
It's true. No, but it's true. What are we supposed to say?
I was in Miami last April. I was like, I'm never coming back to Canada again. So I don't blame you.
I'm going to Florida in March. It is what it is.
All right, Kevin, you mentioned something about talking about oil when you were back here, and that is 100% accurate. And I'm going to pull up a chart. Kevin O'Leary was here talking about oil, basically when oil went negative. You can call it up here. You were down here, and I remember clear as day. I just can't remember, so it's not clear as day. I don't remember if it was in April and October, but either way, XOM was at $35. I remember that because I'm a shareholder of XOM. My father actually, Kevin, gave me the Wealthy Barber at a very young age. So I just started investing in dividend stocks, managing my own RRSP, which is similar to a 401k, of course. Many would know that, being US Canadian. But I like the dividend names, and I know that you're sort of a value investor, to say the least. Obviously, we take growth stocks as well. But is there anything that's impressing you now, as far as maybe a value name that's been depressed, or anything that you could sort of pick for our viewers here? And it's, again, it doesn't have to be a long-term name, but maybe something that might work in the next year or two where we can collect some dividends. For me, I like IBM because I think you have the AI in there as well. And of course, that's a big dividend pair. Is there anything you're looking at?
Well, I don't know if you guys have been watching fund flows the last 3 weeks, but the European trade is back on. Stocks have gotten so cheap that the top 50 names over there are much better value than their equivalents in the US, and some of those top 50. So I'm using an index that I know very well, OEUR, now owned by Alps. That the behemoth ETF company owns OEUR, but I still use it because we're still involved in the index creation of that. And we designed that with 50 European names. So that's where I put some money to work because it's a really good div yield. It has really behemoth European names, and many of those names have up to 50% of their sales in the US. They're just trading at a much lower PE. And the other area is US mid caps. Not the Russell 2000, because 2/3 of those companies make no money, but OUSM has about 300 names in it that are dividend payers that are more in the $5 billion market cap. A good way to play the mid-cap space. They're not exposed to China trade war stuff because it's all U.S. domestic sales. And so there's if you look at those two, they're transparent. You can look at the names. You can either cherry pick the names yourself or use the ETF. But I'd allocate some mid-cap and some Europe for the next 9 months and just sit in the weeds and collect the dividends, because those things pay monthly.
Yeah, I like ASML there. I like those looks. Thank you so much for all of that, Kevin. Bullard is making the markets go down right now as we speak, advocating for. So. I know it's like you can't get away from these Fed speakers every now and then. But I just want to thank you personally for coming on and the good advice, because my daughter's going to like that answer.
You got it. All right, take care, guys. See you later.
Always a fun guest to have, and wealth of knowledge. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
To be sure, but
I just really like the transparency there.
Yeah,
you know, he was talking about FTX and some of his own personal, you know, investments, losses, and things like that. And it's often very hard for a lot of us to talk about mistakes that we've made.
And personal losses.
The thing about it, though, is it's like trading. If you're firing enough bullets, you know, like some are going to hit and some are going to miss. And I mean, as an investor,
MJ missed a lot of shots.
You know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, what is that stat? Jordan missed more shots than he made, right? So
it was, yeah. Well, I think game-winning shots, I think. Because he shot 50. Did he shoot 50 from the field, MJ? I thought he did, man, overall, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Fahad shoots about 59%.
Fahad shoots 78%.
So. From the field? No, from the field.
No, we're talking from the field.
Come on, man.
We're hearing like 92, and that's his foul shooting percentage, which is not true. But just a couple of things here, because Tesla broke the other way to the downside. So the market made a move. Bullard talking about the expectations and kind of knocking the market down a peg. And 210 got taken out. There was kind of an over-under that happened here where it broke, came back, faded to 210.30. So I'm kind of losing that. I was waiting for confirmation that it wanted to hold 210 before I got into it. The timing couldn't have been any better, to be honest with you guys. So did the over-under thing at 210, now headed back down toward the low. So what I want to do is pace them out on the way to the low, then see if it breaks 209. That whole time I got stopped out of Roblox. That sucked. Because I got top wicked on Roblox, and then Bullard starts talking. And Man U, by the way, went haywire because the bid could be as much as $6 billion US. It came in today with $4.2 billion of market cap. I took the dip buy into 26 and then just played the range. So it bounced off 26.7. I bought 22s, scalped some out, took it out in front of the high. Now I want to rinse and repeat. So Man U's in play, market's tanking. Thanks a lot, Bullard.
Bullard. I don't know. I mean, he just said he'd support a 50-point March hike. It says he wouldn't rule out supporting.
Wouldn't rule out.
So would support it, I guess.
Definitive.
Yeah, wouldn't rule out. Like, just say I support, right?
I know, like.
You're right, these Fed. Yeah, we were able to take a little bit of advantage of that while we've just been sitting short talking to Kevin there. We were short Palantir and Palantir only. I didn't want to get into any active trades knowing that I was going to speak with him. So, you know, we just watching this name come back in now. So here comes Palantir back to 87. We might as well put a bid here. Take out some 87s. This has sort of been the bottom of the day here on Palantir. So we'll continue to go short that we just got to fill. We'll continue to go short here on Palantir. But it needs to get higher. We'll hold this now as we take another piece out. This was the bottom before we went back to 10, right? So silly not to take some out on this move down here heading into, and we are now part of Power Hour. So, all right, congratulations to everybody that's been with us here today. Thank you for signing up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the like and the subscribe button. Big day for us with Kevin back on there, and I think that was an absolutely fantastic interview. I want to thank Brendan for all those hard-hitting questions for sure. So we had fun with him. You know, yeah. Brendan had to ask those tough questions. So thanks, Brendan, for that. But hey, look, into Power Hour. Give us some names now. Give us some names.
Shorts.
What do you guys want to do? Roku short, maybe?
I mean, everything's tanking.
Do we need to go short though? The market's down 1%.
But
we're breaking. Yeah, we're breaking a lot here. And there goes Roku breaking back down below 73 now, taking down VWAP. Again, you know, you always look back and say like, you know, this is where the trade was, that breakdown, so on and so forth. But we got to look forward, right? Because looking back and saying you missed something doesn't mean anything to anybody. So yeah, Roku right now. Look at this 72 area. Let's let it drop down to 72 and see what happens before we talk about a long again. The market is pulling back pretty good right now, as you can see here. So it's a nice little move down in just the last 30 minutes. So I feel like we can get something, but I'm going to wait for 72 to come on Roku. I like your idea on the Tesla short. To me, that one's printing, should print anyways. But again, a lot of positivity out for Tesla right now as well. So that one could go either way.
You'll see very quickly here, like the roll-off 210 210. This is the low of the day at 208. The second I saw it bounce off that level, I'm just boom, punch out. Like I'm playing 210 into the low. If it breaks the low, hold. If it holds the low, look for a re-entry point. So the re-entry point, if we see 210, that's great. But I'll take it every single chance I get to play a range like that. If we can get 210, I'm going to like that reload there. And just, I put this in the chat. Bullard's not a voting member, by the way. It's not to say that his opinion doesn't matter, but it's like if you're not a voting member, it's not as big of a deal. It's like, so saying he would, did he say he would support or whatever the heck he said about? He wouldn't rule it out. Well, he's not a voting member right now. He's definitely a voice who has moved the market in the past. I'm not saying he won't move the markets here, which he obviously has, but he's not a voting member.
Right, so I would just say, yeah, hold out on all of that, man. I mean, we have no idea where this is going to go. I was looking at PayPal here. It's breaking as well, down. It's not even red today. Well, it's red now. It wasn't just a couple seconds ago. Breaking down through some of these levels. So I think this is a short that we can make. It's too bad we got stopped out of our meta trade a little bit there. I'm just going to punch a little bit here into this short right now for PayPal. And again, I just, this is one of those names that's breaking down, right? I mean, is this breaking down? I think it looks like it is. So where's my meta right now? Yeah, see, look at that. Just got stopped out at the high of the day. That's unbelievable again, as it makes a move back. Oh, that sucks for me right there. But all right, softy. we're gonna try PayPal here on a short, basically against 78. I mean, that tick higher is 78. We can play these wicks. Why not? That's where the 50 period is, 78.05. So, all right, so we're short now, 75. Let's see if it can come in. We're going to take another short at 90. Not give this one too much room, but yeah, back upside right now for PayPal. So a new position started here. PayPal, it's short. I like it. Let's see where it goes.
So much for thinking I was going to get that bounce in Tesla. Tesla now carrying through 08. The next pop, I'm just going to short that one. But Microsoft just broke down at 264, so you can see the tight range in there. I want to get something. If I can get it above 64, I like it. I like it a little bit better if I can get above 64, but if it just goes clean break, we'll go for that. Market is rolling over. It sucks because, it is what it is. Like there were some of these shorts, I just got stopped out of both Shop and Roblox before it happened. But there's a 64 break. I just got 90s. That's 263.90. But look at the room Softy has. Another dollar to the low and then even more room beneath it. I don't know. I said I didn't want to chase Tesla. Now I'm hating myself for not chasing that one at the low of the day because this market is now crumbling. So I guess they care what Bullard says. We've seen this happen before. He's tanked the market before. This is not the first time where random comments from him have moved the market.
All right, PayPal already starting to bank it again. Not Sam Bankman-Fried, but we are Sam banking right now on a little bit of this. Let's put something out at 50s. If we can get a piece out, we might as well do it on the momentum coming in right now. So we'll take 25 cents here quickly on PayPal if we can get it down on that downside move right here. So PayPal looking like it wants to give me the 52s, guys. Here we go. Let's go. Yes, sir. There it is right now. So bang, right there. A quick 25 cents for all y'all right there on PayPal. In just a couple seconds. Let's see if it continues to make a move downside right now. New position alert for me is PayPal making that move down. And by the way, let's go right now as Palantir making bottoms here, hopefully not hopefully, we're still short. Hopefully we can get filled here, but it's coming back in. And what I'm talking about is bottoms. Forget about this open, but it's just coming back into 80. That's what we were looking at. Now it's the 80 level on PayPal, on Palantir. We'll see if we can get a bid. Well, there it is. We just got it. So out a little bit here as we hold a little bit more. Let's see if this market really wants to flush in here. For now, it's going down. Let's see where we can stop. I mean, I was looking at 12. I mean, the real level is 12.4. We talked about that. I mean, here's the NASDAQ right now. All you're sort of doing right here is just filling back to where we were there at 12. Well, 12.4 is down here, but where we were earlier today. So let's see if there's a bouncing spot there. But we're going to be short. We're 26 cents in the money Palantir and 30 cents in the money on PayPal right now, and I think we want to hold both these now.
Yeah, flush them. Microsoft just hit the halfway between 64 and 63, so I took some out, and I want to reload on any kind of a pop that we can see. The only thing that's strong, well, I shouldn't say that, I don't know, but one of the only things I'm looking at that's strong is Manchester United on that news actually took out the 27 high. So I'm going to back away from any dip buys at 26. I'm going to look to join this at the next consolidation level, 26.70 or so. I'm going to pop on the bid. I want to buy the dips in this one as long as it holds that trend. Not much is looking strong with this market flushing like this. So let's see if we can't get a little something to the upside. And maybe there's something else out there that's strong. If you guys see anything strong, let me know. I would love to trade it. I'm trying to cancel these orders. Don't need those. I want to get back in on the trend in Tesla. Just actually didn't believe that we would have this strong of a reaction to Bullard, quite frankly. I didn't believe it, and Tesla broke the low without me. I did grab softy breaking a level, but I want to get back in this trend because this could see 205 the way that it's moving. So any kind of a pop, maybe it has to be to 08. Tesla is falling like an absolute rock right here. This is nuts, man. Like the even dollar breaks are worth it, but I don't want to be chasing this $3. That's insane.
Where are you short? Oh, you got out of it. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
How is it already here?
There's some nice moves happening right now. Let's check back in on Roku. Yeah, Roku's still at that 72 level there. It's the pre-market high break that we had earlier, and we did get some out. Pump it, says Gregory. Pump it right now.
Or dump it.
Or dump it, either way. Let's do something, says Greg. So let's go to the upside here. In this market would be pretty nice if we get back, but I think we're going to go to the downside here. This is just now since 2 o'clock. You're down. You only have 2. This is a minute chart. You basically have 3 green candles. Sorry, since 3 o'clock. It's 3:20 already. So since 3 o'clock, you have some huge moves to the downside, and we're starting to take out some of these levels. So I'd say look out below. PayPal, spin it. Money is right now 40 cents in the money. We just put this trade on. So yeah, man, Kevin was fun, but now we're trading, and now the money's pouring in. So not pouring in, but we're making a little bit here on these plays. So let's just continue to watch it. I like these trades. You know what name is still up today though? Is Alibaba. So this name's still up on the day.
They play by different rules.
It does play by different rules, some of these Chinese ADRs and names like this. So yeah, Alibaba right now trying to break lower again. This looks a lot right now like that PayPal trade where you, I didn't mean to zoom in like that, sorry about that, where you're breaking this level with VWAP right now. So yeah, I don't know. That's looking pretty good. Michael Nas talked a little bit about VWAP and its importance there on the midday show with Sharif. So I want to thank him for that. And yeah, when you break below now, it's pretty key. So here we go. Nice little move downside for the market. 32 cents in the money for Palantir right now, and 43 cents in the money now for PayPal. But yeah, that Alibaba trade isn't looking horrible. I just get nervous going short something that's up today. So, that could be something. Let's hold off on the Baba trade, but it is breaking lower, again, found on a scan.
This is ridiculous. Tesla, like I just took the 6 break on Tesla, and before you can blink an eye, it's already at 205.50, and I got slipped 12 cents on it, by the way. So the slippage is legit on these moves because it's free falling, but I hate being at the bottom here. That's why I immediately scalp half out and then see if it wants to continue. Microsoft is fine because I'm not short the actual low of the day, which is insane. If this gets above the 50, 206.50, I want out of Dodge because I could see Tesla back at 08 in no time if the market's not going to break the lows. Let's see if it can't get to that 05. I thought 05 was going to be the level anyways, so let's see if we can't carry down to it. I don't want to jump into a long, but if I were to take a long, this is where I would do it. It would be at the 05 level. I'm still tracking Man U for any kind of a dip to go into the long there. That's a dip buy for sure, because if you do the math on Man U, like that deal could go a heck of a lot further. That's $6 billion US, by the way. It's 4.2, so that's another like 30-something% to the upside from here.
I'm looking at this PayPal and this Palantir, and they are both cooking here pretty darn good right now. So
Tesla's catching a bit of a bid.
Is Tesla catching a bid? Yeah. So I was going to say, let's just put a bid here on PayPal at 77. And if we're lucky enough to get it, I think that's good enough, man. Even 77.20 right here, 77 just brings us into this pre-market area where we danced a bit. Let's wait for it. Let's go down to 77. Let's meet in the middle. Let's go 77.0 something. We won't say exactly where, but okay, 77.08. Let's go to 77.08. Just randomly there, like again, just picking sort of a random price about that. So let's go to the downside. It is bouncing, so that might have been something. 25s. We could have just taken 50 cents clean there. That's not a horrible idea. Let me just put something on the bid here of Palantir because again, it's also bouncing a little bit. So as Neil indicated, some of these names are. There we go. We just got out of something.
I just covered Softy.
Oh, we just covered some Okay, you just covered Softy. So we just covered some Palantir there at 78, I believe, or did I get 77? At 78. So still more to come today, for these moves down. But one name I wanted to look at as well was Shopify. That was a name that reported earlier. And again, like, look at it just bounce off that 200 period one, right? So pretty good job there coming back in for this. But for right now, it's Shopify trying to get going upside. If this can get to 44, 45, 50, something like that up in there, that's probably a decent short. Just nervous that the market does catch a bid, but Neil, it doesn't look like it is. So maybe our thoughts about dumping things right now is probably right, and then just hold on to the short that you have.
Well, I got out when we couldn't claim that 6 level and figured I want to work something at a better price on Tesla. But Microsoft, the same thing as Tesla earlier, it bounced off 63, double bottom. So I just got out. And then if it breaks 63, it's the first break of the low. So I can take the low break on Microsoft. So that's what I'm kind of looking at here. I didn't take the bottom break on Tesla when it happened, but if we continue to the downside, I can kind of rectify that issue by getting the bottom break on Softy. If it bounces off it, I can go for the 64 short. I might just take a shot on not Roblox, on Man U a little bit higher here. It might be holding 27s on that breakout, so I might just take a 27 long on Man U. Thank you very much there, John Monzillo, 10 times daily goal and Tesla flush, outstanding show. Thank you so much there. Obviously, we appreciate all of our viewers. He shouts out Sean, myself, Brendo, Professor, Scalp Demon, Ian, Pratt, the whole team, even Fahad. Look at that.
Look at that.
Even
Fahad, yeah, you shout out. Give a shout out. The real.
That's kind of cold.
Fahad
even Fahad.
No, I think you're saying even Fahad. I don't think it's it's a negative.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
Fahad's gearing something up apparently, which I think I have an idea because he kind of told us. But I did just grab Man U, so let's see. I wanted to get a little bit out in front of this around the 27, so I just took 27.05. Really creative entry point for me on Man U, and I got a reload on Tesla. We'll see if 207 wants to hold. It held the first time. Can it do it a second time? I want to give this to 26.75 on Man U, so that's going to be my out on Manchester United, 26.75.
All right, so it looks like we did miss a little bit of that bottom on PayPal. Fahad to beat Neil on the track. Yeah, we've been over this.
Stop.
We've been over this a couple times already. We'll just see. Apparently, on the Fahad signed everybody up for the Expert League. So Greg was very, very nervous about that. For
the basketball.
For the basketball tournament, the charity tournament that's coming through.
I think that's what he's talking about.
Right. Yeah, soon. Oh, okay. That's what Fahad's going to talk about. That's good. All right. Let's watch that. What else is moving? You're already on Tesla, so that's a good one. Apple just turned red as well. You know what trade that we haven't looked at that's at a key level is AMD. AMD's at 80. Well, not at 80 yet, but look at this drop here for Advanced Micro. That really fell out of bed real quick here today off something. I mean, that break right there is pretty dramatic. You could see there it is breaking that's what it was. This is one of the only names right now, I guess, that's broken through sort of that morning dump. Everything else I'm looking at, remember we have PayPal. We're looking to see if that wants to dump a little bit lower as well. But it looks like here AMD is something that's definitely been destroyed. 80.50, so I can't go back on the 1 minute. You have to go at least on the 20 minute, I guess, here. 80.50 right there is a level. Let's test this in case the market bounces here at the end of the day. Yeah, 80.44 is that bottom. Yeah, all right. Okay, let's try something on AMD then on the downside. Remember, we still have...
Oh, Softy.
Yeah, I don't know now, because, I mean, if PayPal's going to retrace back down into 25 again, do we really want to go long AMD into this problem here today for the market? Maybe not, eh? So, yeah, we'll wait, but I like that AMD long. You know what, if AMD gets to 80.50, let's try the long. We're going to try the long in AMD at 80.50. So I'm going to put a bid there. If the market does flush, you know where I'm going, 80.50 long on AMD.
Yeah, so Microsoft just flushed 263.20. That's at $20, and we got other problems, man. Like I always say, if Microsoft goes to $20, then I'm not worried about my account. I'm worried about my personal safety. So 263 just broke. I was able to get the first scalp, the first 20 cents, because that's how far it went. Actually, 97s. That is some primo liquidity, baby, when you get a 97 short on a break even even. I did reload Tesla off 207 there, a couple of legs in because I really liked it, but I am getting out 2/3 in front of the low of the day, which is 205. At this point now, if 205 goes, I'm just going to hold through a 205 break instead of short the 205 break. As you can possibly imagine, my Man U trade to the long side is instantly not working. However, if I'm going to bet on a long, give me the one that might be announcing a deal in the next little bit here. So it's about 15 cents for my stop. It is the thing that's concerning me because, quite frankly, the shorts are pretty good right now. What do you got up there at the desk, boys?
Where are we? There we are. He's here, Fahad.
Hello.
The man who needs no introduction.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about something that's important.
Yes.
And I'm just going to give you the floor and let you talk us through it and tell us what we need to know about this upcoming event.
So, as you guys know, we're sponsored by Daytrade the World, which is Trader TV. They also wanted me to create a team, put my friends together. We also have Greg, which is the floor manager, on the team. It's a team of 6 for a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. This is like a Raptors, I guess, organized thing, but it's for charity, it's for a cause, and Daytrade the World is sponsoring our team. They're going to let us play in the tournament. And I am the captain of the team, which means I got to win, because I don't like losing. There's two wins to this, basically. We didn't know. The one win is the actual basketball tournament, and the second one is a goal for donations. And this is the page, I think, I have it ready. We'll put it up and pin it in the chat, but if anyone is interested in donating to a good cause, it's that's my alarm, by the way. It's for a new battery.
Come on, man.
Anyways, it's for a really good cause. It's all types of research with health and urgency, and there's woman care in there. They cover a bunch of different areas, but you know, this will be the page you guys land on, and it's my page specifically. And if I can reach 500 bones, it'll be nice.
So there's more information, obviously, on where the funds are going on the page itself, guys. Yeah. So again, we'll put the link in the chat. Go check it out. What's the date on it?
The tournament is March 5th, which is a Sunday, and if we make the finals, it'll be on a Tuesday. We will have, I'm going to get someone to come record everything, the basketball tournament, so we at least have some content to show you guys. But my guess is that's when it ends.
So we have from now until
March 5th.
March 5th yes. to raise some money for a great cause, guys. Go check it out. Link in the chat. Thank you. Good luck.
Well, we have to get the link in the. I don't see the link in the chat right now, but we'll get that going. Fahad's going to go back to the desk and do that. Thanks, Fahad. That does mean a lot. You know, if we're going to do some stuff like that, thanks to Fahad for bringing that up, and everybody. I'm going to be there on the Sunday. I got another commitment on the Saturday. There's Fahad. Yeah, watch him shoot. Watch Fahad shoot these threes. Look at that.
This is insane right now.
It's just butter right there. All right, there it is.
Tesla's at 203.
And there's PayPal. Money. Tesla is getting killed. Okay, we'll go over Tesla. But there it is right there. We just got a nice PayPal out. I don't know why is my out not showing right now? There it is. Okay, there it is. Now we just got it right there. So there's the out on PayPal, finally breaking through 77.08. We also lost 15 cents on AMD. That one came in and out real quick there. Went to 50, out of 50. Now it's all the way to the downside as the market is coming in a lot right now. Palantir is absolutely cranking as well as this market's giving everything up right back to pre-market lows one more time. But man, that PayPal trade's a good one. And we talked about Tesla, which is absolutely getting down to the downside here as well.
Yeah, and the market is right at that bottom. So if you look at, I'm just going to go here for you guys. This is the NASDAQ. This is the bottom on the NASDAQ. If it makes a bounce here, this is where I want to trail. So it's how I roll, man. If the market gets to a key level and tries to bounce, I just like to trail the level. And at this point on Tesla, it's just continuing to flush. So all I do is move my trail further and further down. I could not do this manually, but realistically, this is absolutely insane. Like, how am I not short Roblox and all of those shorts that I had? All of those shorts that were in the pocket, and there's the trail at a 203. So 07 to 03 probably took too much out in front of 5, but the 5 break was pretty clean if you did take it. I wanted to hold through the break. Microsoft, by the way, as that just rang the register, Microsoft just got down to 262, so that one's powering up here. But if we bounce off these lows, I don't know if we've got the early look on the imbalances. My guess is they're to the south side because that would make sense. But if we don't bounce off these lows, it can get pretty ugly here. I don't know how Man U hasn't even come out that long. It feels like it should have a long time ago. But if we bounce off the bottoms, I do want to get out of Microsoft. The 62 makes sense. It's not nearly as violent as Tesla, but Tesla's now holding 03s. That's why I wanted to grab that out.
Yeah, I thought that Dan GPT chat there predicted a crash yesterday, but of course we can, whatever. Cherry pick and say it was today. But no matter what it was, this is not, I just want to tell everyone, this is not a crash. I wouldn't say it looks like it is right now, but if you just sort of, you know, take about into, we're just back to where we were this morning, which is bad. I mean, we did retrace everything, and now here into the close, it is making that move down. And I do think a lot of that talk is on this 50 basis points. If that's the last hike, then cool, but maybe it's not, and I think that's what was sort of spooking everybody a little bit right now. So I could see that there'd been something, you know, out for that, and you know, I'm here for that. So we could wait to see if that is something. I don't, you know, for me, I'm not putting too much weight in sort of an AI-inspired tank, but it was talking about China and everything like that. So hey, Biden, remember what I said before too, Biden came out and basically said that it's Chinese intelligence. So we all thought that, but maybe that fact that it's confirmed, I think that might have more to do than anything that, I mean, because like you said, Bullard, these talking heads are just—
It's a bit much for that.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm only listening to Jerome, and, you know, we're going to wait to see when he has something to say, not non-voting members. But look at this meta. Like, this is the other thing, so I'll just zoom in. Like, look where we got stopped out was basically that high of 176. It did go up to 80s, so I was pretty happy where we wound up getting stopped out, but, you know, a stop out just by nature is never a good thing. So we did get stopped out here on that, and I'm not a happy camper for it, but that move down on Meta right now, as you guys can see, has been pretty explosive to the downside from 176 to 172. So it would have been real sweet to still have that short, but we don't. We got out of PayPal and was pretty happy with it. It's still bouncing around that level. The fact that we're able to hold that and make on PayPal $1, well, I guess it was only 80 cents, but nice move to the downside there. Pretty happy with it. And again, why did we have it? It just broke that level. Let's just check out BABA, B-A-B-A, right there. Yeah, I know it's NY, I got that. There's the break there as well. Wow, so that would have worked. Oh man, I keep hitting that same zooming in. That would have worked as well. Wow. Oh man, damn, Daniel. That broke again right there, 103.50. Oh, that would have worked too. I guess everything breaking would have pretty much worked at this point. But one person that never breaks is Brendan. What's up?
Market downside, guys, in a big way here, but something called Ed having a nice afternoon. Straight to the upside here on pretty heavy volume for Ed.
Yeah, go for it. You have a cam?
He's got his mic.
I got a mic. I just quickly want to say the first donation that I got right now is $106 from Michael Osborne.
Woo,
So
Michael
I appreciate
Osborne.
you, my brother.
Awesome.
I really appreciate that.
I think you're going to get that $5. I think you're going to get that $5.
That'll be awesome, you know, because
Easy.
then I can brag about how I'm the most inspiring person as well in the world.
Yeah.
I'll have that under my agenda. But
You are the what?
the most inspiring person in the world as well.
Oh, person in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
Okay.
But also, I seen a couple people in the chat after I got off the desk and went back to the chat.
Yeah.
A few people have called me out.
For what?
Basketball, saying I would smoke Fahad in basketball.
Oh, those people.
Put
Well,
your money where your mouth is. Come
remember,
to
we're
Toronto,
right,
play me
that's-
for $500. When I win, then you can donate to my cause.
Right, that's
Okay.
fair.
Please and thank you.
He's willing to play for charity.
Don't just
That
talk,
is-
come down to Toronto.
I believe that's fair.
that
Mute
is
me,
more
sir.
than reasonable.
I mean, he's like not. I just hope he, you know, when he's beating you in a race, I hope that he doesn't hurt himself. You know, because I don't want to see any permanent damage done to such a superior athlete. But the thing is that I also had no idea that he was so inspirational as well.
I'm inspired right
The
now.
most
Just
inspirational-
being in his peripheral. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
That guy looks lost. Wow, now there's a lot of people. No, he's not.
No, look,
I love the smoke, though.
It's fantastic.
I
Don't
love
get me
the
wrong.
smoke.
Like anything, look, charity, giving,
Yeah, we're all
that's
joking.
what it's all about.
Trader
so.
TV Live is sponsoring that, as is Day Trade the World,
Yeah, exactly.
and as are you guys right now. So we want to
thank you
thank
guys so much.
Shout out to Mike Osborne for that, man. That's awesome. $100. You don't
that's
have to
cool
do
stuff.
that. It's charitable donation. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Yep.
Giving is the best. And look, Tesla, it might just be making another turn here. So it was the right thing to get out at 203, but I was trailing at that level anyways. It just got to 205 and started dumping again. So I mean, it's a very, very tiny sell imbalance right now. We just got from Brendan. 15 buy imbalance. 15 million shares to buy was the imbalance, which essentially is nothing. It's almost like it doesn't exist. So, you know, I'm thinking maybe this is for real. It feels like it's an overreaction to Bullard, but maybe it's not just that. It's just work with the trend here. So I want to short in front of 205. If I can even get it at this point, like, can we see a short off at the 205 level? I just want to have outs, like, you know, throw a stop at like 205.25 and then risk that. So somewhere in the 4.5 to 75 range, I want to see if I can get a short, acknowledging that we could absolutely rip back up to 07 here. So I don't want to risk like $1.50 or anything like that on the Tesla trade. But this feels like it's falling the most. Microsoft, which I just got out of, I mean, that's already back at my entry price at 63. Oh, you know what? Never mind. The first entry was at 64. Then we shorted 63. So technically, it's not anywhere near our entry price. But the market is trying to make a bit of a bounce here off those NASDAQ lows.
Yeah, did we get that imbalance from Brendo? Let me just, oh,
Tiny, nothing. Really
it's
nothing.
15 million notional to buy. I could say sell, and I don't think it would matter. So, all right, so that's a low number, guys. So we're not even, if you're joining us for the first time, the numbers we're looking at are like, you know, sub 500 million for sure is something that we would be, Neil and I would be more concerned with as far as our trading. But that kind of a number is not, you know, anything for us. So again, we got out of AMD, and I'm kind of glad we did it. We talked about it, and I actually had some more things for Kevin there, but we kind of ran out of time a little bit. And that is that, you know, a lot of taking risk is in what your downside is, right? And I know, again, like that's kind of obvious, but it's not obvious to a lot of traders for sure. No. A lot of traders will hold something forever, and I just think that you just heard Neil talk a little bit there about his plan for Tesla and things like that, and it's just like, you know, now this trade went 20 cents in the money for me. It went up to 80.71 there, right? But it also went down 30 cents, you know, for me or against me on that one, right? So I feel like getting out and taking that 15-cent hit there is the smart thing to do, because if the market doesn't bounce, then I don't know where we are on this name, right? And so I just feel like that's part of risk versus reward. And sometimes you got to sort of take that. I mean, PayPal, we did a good job, I feel like, just getting out of that one, because it just went back into the day here, 77, and I just used this little pre-market sort of top there. And it's not the top, but like it was topping out before making that bottom to 76.50. So I just used 77 as an out, and we always say, when in doubt, zoom out. There was no doubt that the market was going down, but to get an out there meant something. So I think that was pretty good. I'm still astonished by my meta trade, about, you know, we risked about 30 cents for what turned out to be a $3 profit, but you have no idea where this market's going. Unity to the downside, Lyft is to the downside right now. Are there any names? I got to dismiss this poll. Fahad's the alpha there, so I'm just going to easily dismiss that one. Apple about to break 154. Tesla news might have caused the market down, but so just see someone said, but that Tesla news is pretty old.
It is, but I just wanted to shout out to the super chat from Lone Sophos here. I would bet 2,000 that I would absolutely destroy Fahad one-on-one. So come to Toronto, because there's a charity out there somewhere that would be pretty happy about this. So Lone Sophos with the challenge being thrown down. Let's just leave it at that. But you got to come to Toronto if you want to do that. We will happily facilitate some kind of a grudge match like that. I reloaded Tesla at 204, and it's right back at the low of the day. So if it's going to double bottom here, which I think is a possibility, let's see. If it bounces off 202 with any gusto, I'm just going to punch out manually. So I'm going to trail this one with a manual sort of stop here. Yeah, it looks like that's enough of a checkup. Like, it got to the low, bounced a little bit here, so reload. I'm not completely believing that we're not catching a bid on the NASDAQ. Maybe I'm just wrong about that, because I just keep taking out the short and looking for re-entry points. So if it bounces again, we'll just go back, rinse and repeat. But like Tesla's flushing, and we're not even talking about like the chips or anything. Like Nvidia is at 220. 220? Like 220?
How tall are you?
Like, wow, this is
I'm
crazy.
6 feet. We've already
measured
measured it.
What are you guys talking about right now?
We've already measured that,
What's going
Brad.
on right now? What is going on right now?
Yeah, exactly 6 feet. We've measured it on the show.
Yeah, we did this already.
We already did this.
What's the argument here? I'm missing
Oh,
something.
no. Someone just said, is Fahad even 6 feet? And I was like, yeah, we're both 6 feet.
Yeah.
So 6'1", you said?
6.5", he says.
What is 6.5? When someone says their height and they say 6.5?
That, to me, that means like you're
6'6".
6'6".
Oh. This is why, you see, like, 6.05.
Hey,
so
what's going
he's
on with, what's
6 foot and a half inch. Oh, okay. All right, I don't know how tall. I asked Lone how tall he is there. But yeah, you know what the thing is?
Willing to put 2 Gs, that's what he...
No, but it's not even about the 2 Gs. What I was going to say is, why not just do it for $1,500, spend $5 on the flight, to get here.
Well, that's fair.
You know, and then because we got to organize that. But like you said, we'll facilitate that. Okay,
yeah.
should be a lot of fun. Anyways, let's just go back to trading here quickly. All right, so AMD's still at that level. I just want to talk about Palantir. We do need to get out of this. Of course, Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every single day. But again, on the sticky note today, this is not the right one. Here it is. Oh, I got to put my watch back on from O'Leary there. Palantir was on here for a short as we go into the lowest part of the day right now for this name. So if you're here for the short and for the super chat, wake up. There it is right there. Wake up to the upside right now for that. So there it goes to the downside Palantir. Here's our shorts, man. Short. Pay the man. We might as well get out right now. I mean, if this market continues to go down, fine. But we're at a pretty low level now for this Palantir. We'll stay here. What's up to Lion King as well? Great play, great movie. Can someone say what their #1 dividend stock? Fahad's #1 stock, we did a thing on this one, was BlackBerry, right? For that. Can someone say what their #1 dividend stock is? I said it, I kind of like IBM here at some of these levels. We can go over that. But I mean, we could talk about trading a little bit now too, but yeah, I like IBM, consistent dividend payer. You guys want to talk about AI. I mean, these guys, what was that? What was the machine that faced?
Oh, you're talking about
Big Blue. Was it just called Big Blue? The Jeopardy.
No, that was, for the love of now,
that one.
Blanking because I was about to talk about Tesla, so I'm like, now
that's okay, don't worry about it. Anyways, I like IBM. Why don't you, you have a couple dividend plays you like?
You know what, to be honest, like recently, it's like there's a couple of ETFs that I really like. Like Spidey's okay. Here in Canada, XCI is pretty good. And then I've been a proponent of CVX for a while, although like the energy trade, you might have to back off that one for a little bit, but they're pretty reliable with their dividends, so I do like them. One name that I think is at a good price right now happens to be Pfizer, but that's more where I just like the entry on that one. It's a little bit riskier, I would say, but CVX has one of the like Chevron's got one of the safest dividends around. So Tesla just bounced off the low again. First it was 203, then now it was just 202. So I don't know how many times we can go to this well. There's only 15 minutes left in the day. But I'm kind of thinking it's still this 05 area. So if we pop in, start turning around 05, I might give it one more shot here in Tesla. But I don't want to overtrade this. We got given a gift of these late shorts, and we don't want to throw it away by being way too aggressive with it. And Momo just said in the chat, Pfizer's been weak versus the market since 51, and he doesn't know why. That's kind of why I was thinking about that one, because it's a name that I have maybe a little better than where it's at right now. But overall, it's been super weak in just holding this support level at 41, which has been a decent one recently. So I kind of like where it's at more than anything else. But yeah, has been terribly weak. But healthcare did such a very good job over the last year. Like healthcare last year was doing great for you there. And it has been weak at that level. I just think it's at a price where you can pick it up. That's all I was getting at. But I like the ETFs as a safer play. You can kind of build those, and then once you have a good stable in like some of the dividend-paying ETFs, if you like them, or stable stocks, and you buy in the indexes, it allows you to take some more risk elsewhere in your portfolio.
Can we bug Brendan again for the story on LUNR?
What? I don't know what
because,
that is. So.
Yeah, it was one of those midday sort of movers that was really running around there today. It looks like it was obviously a recent IPO, $10 here, up to $45 today. So whenever you see IPOs or recent names, if you come to the chart here, Pratt or Fod or somebody, you'll be able to see here, nice little runner on LUNR and just kind of hovering around 50, doing this dance right now. But yeah, nice move upside here for LUNR. We don't trade this. I don't trade this kind of a name when the spread is 50 cents. I tend to stay away, and I don't want to say you guys should as well, but this is a risky name to hold overnight. So if you're still in this name, I would probably exit with this much time left in the day, but hey, I'm not in it and it's your money. And by the way, I just have to say something for a legal reason here. When you guys ask Neil and I for stock opinions or picks, plays like that, those are our own personal opinions, not based on what you guys should do. So I like the way that question was worded. What do we think of those of a long dividend play? Yeah. So that's our opinion, not as financial advice for anybody else. So we have to say that, and obviously,
no, you're right.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear because
I'm long Pfizer. I'm buying it here. I'm not telling you to do that, and I like it.
That's it. So that's
there's nothing else I can say.
It's just like I say that I'm huge into Google and all these plays. We talk about our our plays because we're comfortable with them, but by no stretch of the imagination are we stamping on, your portfolio.
This was a
that's all.
SPAC?
Yeah, it was a SPAC. He said, Brendan's just saying nothing recent here, recent SPAC. He's just reading the notes that he puts in our work chat here. The issue is the float, right? 12
million is so small.
And it's turned over 3.5 today, which is not that much. But small float.
Here's what I'll say about these plays, because I don't know if I'm going to get... Look, this bounce is happening in Tesla. I don't know if I want to short it another time here. I might, but when I see this moving, I think your safest plays here, if you don't have the early trade, is after all the crazy halt fest and getting one of these consolidations, like 29 long with a 28 stop, like 31 or 32 long with a 30 stop. Like those give you entry points where you're not buying the high and risking 10 to 15%. It's a tight stop in there, but at least then when it goes crazy, you're kind of already in it. Because I find if you chase this up here, I don't know how you make heads or tails of risk to reward. Sometimes off the halt, I like some shorts, but I'm willing to bet you whatever the price is for locates, I would 100% not pay it at 350. It almost doesn't matter because the setup would have to be so perfect, and I doubt it. So I would stay away from this. I think I might back off. The imbalances are coming out at 350. I see no reason to jump into a trade with 30 seconds to go till the imbalances here. So we're about to get them live for you guys. Might as well get ready to load them up. The shorts were fantastic, no question about it. I'm not going to fight around with them because it was such a good afternoon with Tesla, Microsoft, pretty much anything you shorted realistically. We'll see what happens with these imbalances. They could tell the tale of the tape going into the close.
Yeah, I think they will. So we're going to see here in just a couple of seconds. We're still short Palantir. We didn't get out, but we're going to hold it into this close. And here he goes in 3 and 2 and 1. We're going to get it updated here. Palantir came out as a buy, but not really spiking anything here. So Palantir out as a buy and to 68. So that's funny. Amazon is sell. That's probably heading some downside moves right now. So here goes Amazon to the downside, looking like it's trying to make a little bit of money here. So that's a good short. Cisco, we saw that earnings play. What are we doing there? Still at 5%. That gave back a lot there, Cisco. This could be a buy for tomorrow. If you're thinking green tomorrow, I would buy Cisco right now. AMD with the sell. There's not doing much. There's Tesla. Okay. Wow. 202, guys. 202 holds on Tesla right there. So far, so good on that hold right there. Tesla, nice hold to 202.
Yeah, and looking at that, not to say that Amazon has to go down because it had a sell imbalance, but I mean, the market was already relatively weak, so I just want to make sure I have it up in case it flips. But that gives us a few minutes here off of this 98.80, it looks like, to fade some Amazon. So I'm going to take a shot. I don't usually trade the imbalances like this, but when the market was flushing anyways, I'm going to take a shot at the bottom. This was the consolidation range before the sell imbalance came out. If it breaks it here, I'm out. If it pairs off in 4 minutes, I'm out. Otherwise, let's just sit in some Amazon, see what happens. Because I don't like Tesla. I feel like we got that off the lows and it bounced a couple times. Let's work with something new. The sell imbalance kind of gives me some more confidence in that Amazon. But I will have a decent stop there at 98. I'll give it 85 because I hate even dollar stops. I just never like to use them.
Yeah, no, and that's the other thing here. So Tesla, nice move to the downside. Thank you for joining us on what was a great day. We had Michael Noss in the building today, so shout out to Michael Noss, who's still put on. Do you have the professor? Let's just let them wave here at the end of the day. The professor and Michael Noss still talking business over here. This is why he is. There. What's up there? Okay, all right. Well, that's my producer hat, so that's it. So we produced that. Thanks, Michael, for coming through. He's also back tomorrow, so if there are any questions, tweet them at us, tweet them at Michael, and he'll answer them tomorrow live on the show as he's coming back. So that should be a lot of fun for everybody tomorrow and for us. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Arun will be in this desk, so you'll be able to see Arun trade tomorrow and look at some futures and whatnot, as well as some equity. I only have one thing left, man. It's Palantir. The market's bouncing a little bit. You're only down 1.6, so let's stop all that like world's coming to an end talk. I think we're okay here into the close. It is nice that it bounced. We still have 8 minutes. It's never great when you close on the lows, so that's the opposite right now. It's great that it bounced off the lows. So found some buy support down here. I like that, and I think that that's pause for You know, not concerned, but if you are short, you know, I think that that's a good little move there at the end of the day. But hey, we'll see if it wants to hold there. Palantir, we're going to be out at 70 if it breaks higher. We do have a buy imbalance that should flip to a sell at 55, which is a little bit going on there. There's a little bit of action happening. Apple's as a buy right now, so that's helping the market obviously go to the upside, as that's the largest name in many indexes, although Microsoft has overtaken Apple as the #1 weighting in the NASDAQ, so on that recent move up. So, all right, good close today. Very good show. Thanks to Kevin O'Leary. Thanks to Michael Noss. Thanks to Raheem earlier.
Exactly.
And that's that, right? You teed it up earlier and said this is a big show for us.
It was a
big
great
day.
show today.
And it was. So that's great. And thank you to everybody.
And shout out to the chat, because it's like there's so many things going on. Like, look at what's happening on Meta 173. Good catch. Like, you can scalp that. I mean, there's only 5-6 minutes left in the day, but that's a scalpable range. Just sort of in and out. 173, it's selling off. I have Amazon. With the imbalances probably having some moves the next minute or so, I think that resolves itself at 355 for sure. So I want to get over to that, and then just watch out for that. You know, obviously that other stock, that small cap, Lunar. Just be careful with this going into the end of the day. It does look like it has the threat of rolling through the halt price. Like, if it cracks 40, like, this could drop like 10-15%, or it could just break 50 in the aftermarket and go up 100% tomorrow. Like, I'm not surprised by anything with those. I will not be trading that. It's Amazon for me because it had that sell imbalance. But as I look at things, just to go back over to the imbalances, like, it's starting to pair off already. So it's down to half, only 600,000. Palantir is still 800 to buy. But Amazon's already cut in half, which tells me I should be trimming this going into 355. Because if it's pairing off now, it could easily flip on me in a couple of minutes. So I'm actually going to pair it off here, anticipating that it might do that.
Yeah, just messaging the wife here, letting her know that we'll be going out for some drinks with Michael Noss.
Drinks.
I've already told her that, of course. Told her that a couple minutes ago, or a couple days ago, when I remembered that Michael was coming. So that should be a lot of fun. I wish there was more traders here, you know, in Toronto. But okay, here we go. All right, just looking to see what, if anything flipped there. Apple just still making its little moves here, not doing a whole heck of a lot here into the close. Let's go back over to our Palantir. It's still at 68, so let's just put a bid here and see if we can grab a fill on the downside. Right now, we were going to trade it with 70s as our out, sorry. But if we can get 67, we'll do that. If not, we'll get 70s. All right, it's Brendan. Maybe it's earnings time.
Just watch Apple here, guys. Just saw this pop up from the New York Post. Apple has begun firing contractors amid mass tech layoffs. So just be careful there if you're in Apple.
You are fired.
Yeah, but look at it. Apple, I mean, everything rolled over. And everyone's asking, like, why did the market go to the downside? There's a couple of things. Like, there was more tensions, more talk of tensions with China. And then on top of that, Bullard said he would not be opposed, I think that was the language, not be opposed to, he wouldn't have been opposed to 50 basis point hikes. So that's what's tanking the market to the downside, as we're taking out lows. I got Amazon, but I already trimmed it because I thought it could flip. It ended up going, so the imbalance got smaller, but it didn't flip to a buy. It actually stayed a sell imbalance on Amazon. But when it was getting smaller, I decided to get out some of that position, and now I feel like that was the wrong call. But look at it absolutely tanking right now. What a move. Like, what a crazy move we just basically had here.
I just jinxed everybody saying that it was not going to close. So thanks for that call out there that we are not going to close on the low. Look at that PayPal move, man. I got out at 77. It's now down to 76 and change, and still making a move lower here. So, all right. Yeah, I definitely jinxed it. So not a good sign. It doesn't matter if I jinx it or not, but not a good sign if we do close on the low, which it looks like we're going to. That little reshuffle of the imbalance there was not nice or kind to anybody. Nope. All right, Brendan, tomorrow's another day sparked by more earnings. What you got?
Yeah, I was just reading through that Apple article. Remember, Apple is the last one standing as far as layoffs are concerned in big tech land. Here we go. Interesting names on here, both tonight and tomorrow.
Let's see. Do we like any? Look, DraftKings and DoorDash are obviously the two ones that we're going to be the most concerned about there. Applied Materials only because it's it can be a bit of a bellwether for the overall industry when it comes to the chip names. There are, you know, the machine suppliers there. Them and ASML fall in the same bucket along with Lam. I care about John Deere, but I don't know if anybody else does because I'm a little bit concerned about what Caterpillar does if they have a bad quarter. But let's be real. After the way we just saw the day end, big tech, big tech, big tech.
Yeah.
You don't have moves like this. Amazon dropping 198, Tesla dropping from like Tesla was at 213, drops to 202.
Everything. Palantir went down. AMD went down. I mean,
Meta crashed.
All these names. AMD's at 80. Like, I'd buy it now, but not right now into the close because we can't hold overnight. Closing on the lows is not, which we're doing. Closing on the lows is not something that you buy hoping to swing tomorrow, in my opinion. So I'm going to be done trading here today. Our Palantir came out, by the way. I would never swing something with confidence when you're closing on a low. So that's the other thing. Remember, not a great CPI number, not a great PPI number, and earnings good, but not great. So there you go.
Only the retail sales is the only good news that we've
thing.
had.
Yeah,
that's the only good news we've had.
And Kevin threw cold water on that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, some nice moves in. Where's Roku going? Wow, Roku, everything back. We talked about looking at that at 72. I apologize, we did not get time to look at that price, but still nice little level there for Roku, guys.
I mean, everything flushing.
Everything.
Tesla just made another low. It just broke 202. This is too late in the day. With 1 minute to go, I'm not taking that bottom break. It's just you can't do it. But that even said I wouldn't take the reload at 04s. It was just, again, free money to the low of the day. Just absolutely insane, guys. So less than a minute. I want to give obviously a shout out to all of our guests, but thank you guys again for the donations for the charity ball tournament that Fahad is going to be leading the team in. So it'll be a heck of a lot of fun. I wanted to play in it, but my wife has a thing that weekend, and that means that I am going to be with my daughter, so I'll be having a lot of fun. But I know Fahad's going to kill it, and I can already see Sean doing his Pat Riley on the side there. Although I want you to be more like Avon Barksdale from The Wire.
I mean, I might suit up. I mean, I don't know. I got like if Fahad's
seen the shot.
Yeah, if Fahad's not what he's built up to be, then I might have to come in there and show him how to play.
Bell.
Okay, so here we go. With only 10 seconds to go, we're getting ready to go now, right now. Yeah, what's up, Momo? I know, I see Ford all the time as well. All right, with only 5, 4, man, look at the range on Fahad there. 3, 2, 1. There it is, Fahad. See, he's... No idea what just happened, but something happened. Okay, so, all right, good move by Fahad there. You can see the guy's already doing laps. Fahad already doing laps around here. So, all right, let's get ready to rock and roll. Brendan, did we close on? We closed on I don't want to say it. I was going to leave it to Brendan, but yeah, I just looked over there. We did close on the lows. What's up, Brendo?
I was trying to figure out who fell off their chair over there. Wow. Exciting. 1.9, guys. Yeah, that was pretty ugly for the NASDAQ to end the day. 1.94. Brad. Hey, thanks. 1.94 for the NASDAQ, 1.12, 1.4 there for the S&P, guys. But yeah, that got ugly quickly.
20, did it? Closed at 27.
It got real ugly. Low of the day on Tesla, 202. Barely, almost still at 220 on NVIDIA to the downside. Like I said, 98 on Amazon. Apple got absolutely cracked at the end of the day. It sucks, but the fortunate thing is when you're trading, you want volatility. So it was a good afternoon for trading. It was a good
Your mic is off or something? Someone's mic is off.
My bad. So anyways, lows of the day on everything, but there's good trading opportunities as always, and thank you guys so much for all the support. It was a fun show, but not a great day for the overall market. There's no question about that. You can't...
I always give the guys in the midday show hell for muting their mic, and then now you just did it.
You know what it was? Because I turned to say something to you guys.
Was that Professor? Come on, Professor. Don't turn into Pratt now. Okay.
You know what else it was? Just like randomly, it was wear navy blue day on the shirt.
Yeah.
Everybody on the show had navy blue.
He never got the
Everybody but Michael had, it's weird, but he is a lumberjack, so it doesn't.
He didn't get the memo.
Brendan too?
Brendan, yeah, we're all about the navy blues. All right, guys, thank you for another great day. We've already talked about how good it was for us anyways, and I hope it was for you, although the market went to the downside. We want to thank Michael Noss and Trade Ideas. He's back tomorrow, so that's going to be great. I'm not back, but Arun's in this seat, so that's great. And then because I'm not going to be here, happy holidays to everybody.
That's right, long weekend.
We'll be back on Tuesday, which should be a lot of fun. And no matter what you're doing, like we always say, I'm going to say it like Luca says it, just spend it with your friends, your family, and people that you love. I think that's most important. I'm going to be off.
Gia scoring hat tricks.
Yes. So she's goalie for game 1 because she volunteered. I ain't happy with it, but she loves playing goalie.
She likes it? Okay.
She loves it. She got 4 goals as her, she's only played for 4 months, by the way. She's only been playing for 4 months. She got 4 goals as her debut as a defenseman.
So she should stay on
So
D.
she's channeling her inner Bobby Orr right now.
Or PK.
Brendan, you got any plans this weekend?
Not a lot. No, I was going to ask you though. Are you gonna take your skates?
Yes.
Go skating on the canal?
That's exactly what we're
Have
doing.
to.
We've been checking the weather. Hopefully it stays cold there. And we are bringing our skates, scaling the canal. So that should be a heck of a lot of fun. And we're going to do a few other things as well. So thanks for asking. Yeah, that's going to be a great idea. I'll send some pictures.
Yeah, do the skating.
We'll do some pictures. I'll send some pictures.
Hopefully it stays cold.
Maybe I'll send some. Her first game's at 1 o'clock. So I'll send a
Oh, that's
picture
good.
of me with her at the arena tomorrow, and you guys can all see
Geared
that.
up.
But geared up, of course, geared up. But anyways, let's wrap this up. We got Michael Noss going to treat us to some drinks here, so that's going to be a lot of fun on that. We got to get out of here. So hey, for everybody here at Trader TV, I want to give a big shout out to those boys over there, right there. There's Prad, there's Fahad. Thank you so much for that, and thanks to Brendan, thanks Sharif, Ian. Thanks to Ian
great
today
job,
as
Ian.
well for everything that he did. But hey, watch the trade of the day. It's up next. But from everybody here, me, Neil, and Brendan, Neil, and I, it's
Yeah.
Trader TV Live, and we're back tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.
Bye, guys.